the Penguins in his career, and he used to play for Vegas. He is 3-1, 2.52 goals against average, and a .919 save percentage. And as for the Penguins, it's been a heck of a year for Artur Shilovs in his first real season as a rookie in the National Hockey League, when you consider he's only playing in his 38th regular season game. Tonight against the Capitals, he's 1-0 against them. He was in goal for a win earlier this season against the Capitals. He is 19, 10, and 8, a 2.99 goals against average, and an .891 save percentage. Our Shop and Save contestant is Karen Howells of Pittsburgh. A chance to win a $250 gift card from Shop and Save in our Shop and Save shutout sweepstakes. If the Penguins get a shutout from Shilovs today, Karen gets the $250 gift card. If not, Karen receives a $25 gift card from Shop and Save. If you would like to register for the Shop and Save shutout sweepstakes, log on to PittsburghPenguins.com. Pierre Maguire joins us in a moment. Penguins and Caps are coming up on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Hi, Staggy here to tell you about another great product from Nova Scotia. Mr. Donair Beef Jerky and Sticks, the official jerky of the Pittsburgh Penguins. In Canada, Donair is similar to gyro meat, but it's seasoned beef, not lamb. And like 87, Mr. Donair Beef Jerky is absolutely off the charts. It's keto-friendly, high in protein, and Mr. Donair's gyro seasoning makes it the best jerky you'll ever taste. You'll find it on Amazon, Cohen Markets, Turkey Hill, Country Fair, and PPG Paints Arena. Mr. Donair, the official jerky of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Dear team, thanks for showing up for me with the best face paint and taunting the other team in the kindest way. For standing on your seat when I need the support and screaming until your throat hurts because you know it makes a difference. For wearing my number. For being the best teammates a player could ask for. At Highmark, we're proud to be cheering alongside the best teammates. Fans like you. Because life. Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Official health plan of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Ever dreamed about signing with the Penguins? Now you can. With the Penguins Power Play package from FNB, you can be a part of the team with a Pens branded debit card, cashback credit card, and personal checks. Plus, score exclusive rewards like discounts on tickets, Pens gear, and more. Sign with the Penguins at fnb-online.com/penguins. FNB, the official bank of the Pittsburgh Penguins. FNB, member FDIC, credit card subject to approval. See site for details.
Ford F-Series are the best-selling trucks in Pittsburgh for 11 years running. So it's no wonder that Pittsburgh's favorite hockey team choose Ford as their go-to vehicles. Yep, that's right. Your favorite team meets our favorite team. That's a stacked roster if you ask us. Ford, the official car, truck, and SUV of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Only from your neighborhood Ford store.
Take a break and come out with us tonight.
Not tonight, man.
Come on. You deserve a night out. You're going to miss out.
Miss out on what?
While you stayed home, they won big. They celebrated. They got the suite, stayed up all night, and made memories. And you weren't there. Some nights are too good to sit out. Rivers Casino. Don't miss the moment.
This segment of the UPMC Penguins pregame show is brought to you by Labatt and Labatt Blue Light, the official import beers of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Always enjoy responsibly.
For these teams to operate, it's Livanovich now, showing off the skating ability. Jake Livanovich, first team All-Conference last year, an All-American a season ago. Part of the Spengler Cup team that finished runner-up in Davos a couple of weeks back. Livanovich! Total one, North Dakota!
Yeah, Jake Livanovich is now a Penguin, and I met him on the way into the building. As I was coming in the parking lot, he was getting out of a limo with his bags and coming in to meet the coaching staff for the first time. Nice kid. I would say slightly built. Kind of reminded me a little bit of Jake Gensel, the way he looks physically. He is 5'10", 185 pounds, a defenseman who can really skate. And that video right there, which was sent to me by Jesse Marshall, I want to thank him. He was absolutely wheeling around the offensive zone, and it reminded me actually of the way the Penguins have played. And I said, hey, I saw a highlight of you scoring a goal. That's Penguins hockey right there, the way you were flying. And he laughed. You know, he is a big Penguin fan growing up. So Jack Livanovich, now a Penguin, signing a 2-year contract, free agent defenseman. Let's welcome Pierre Maguire. And Jack had 5 goals, 20 assists, 25 points in 39 games at North Dakota, who was eliminated from the Frozen Four, Pierre. And I don't know if you knew much about this kid, but I do know this. You know a lot about college hockey, and this is a kind of a big deal because the Penguins got a guy I think other teams are trying to get.
Oh, there was a lot of teams that were in on Livanovich. Part of the thing that really helped college players this year was them going to the Spangler Cup. And I think that really helped his exposure level. And you talked about other pro teams that were interested in Livanovich. There were a lot, not just Pittsburgh. There were a lot. The biggest thing with him is his skating ability. He's an elite skater. Paul, he's not overly large. You talked about running into him today. I'm not thinking he's 5'10", but that's okay. It doesn't matter. If he defends with his feet, he'll be fine. He's not going to be able to defend with his size. He's going to have to defend with his feet. All that being said, this is a very good signing. He's got an opportunity. Doesn't mean he's going to make it, but he's got an opportunity to play at the NHL level. And if he doesn't, he helps them big time in Wilkes-Barre long term. Big time.
Well, let me ask you this, Pierre. He kind of wanted to be getting an opportunity to go right to the big club. And he signed a 2-year deal, and he is here. So you think there's any chance maybe the Penguins might throw him in the lineup here right out of college before the season's over? Because they got basically this game today, another one tomorrow against the Caps, and against the Blues that are somewhat meaningless in terms of the standings and so on.
Well, you just hit it right on the head. Spot on. I'm not surprised coming from you. They're not worried. They're clinched the playoff spot, which is unbelievable, which most people at the start of the year had no conception of Pittsburgh making the playoffs. So they've clinched a playoff spot. I could see him getting a game or two just to get a taste, but I would be very surprised if he were going to be playing regular playoff games for the Penguins, unless there were major injury issues.
Right. Do you think he might get an NHL game, though? Maybe St. Louis game this week? I mean, I guess it's possible.
I do. I think the fact they brought him to Pittsburgh is he'll get an opportunity to play an NHL game or two.
You know what else he'll get, Pierre, is a chance to practice, because I think the Penguins will get a couple of days of practice in this week before that St. Louis game. Just to further discuss the unfortunate situation in terms of the fans wanting, and the national TV audience wanting to see Sid and Ovi maybe for one last time here in Pittsburgh. Sid will be resting today, but I thought of you, Pierre, because you began your long run on television when the Penguins and Capitals came out of that lockout as two teams that everybody wanted to watch because of these two players. And I just wanted to get your take on what you witnessed all those years ago and how it's unfolded over the years.
What an awesome question. Number one, that's when the league was transitioning from Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux to the next two great ones in Crosby and Ovechkin. And what I remember the most is how competitive it was, how absolutely nasty it was, but how much respect there was between those two players in particular, Ovechkin and Crosby, but also the respect that people had for Evgeny Malkin on the Washington Capitals side of things. And Penguins fans don't know this, there was a massive snowstorm on a Thursday night in Washington, and it carried over into a Saturday afternoon. And the Penguins were actually playing a Saturday night game. And, Paul, you were probably there up in Montreal. And our game was a 12:30 start in Washington the next day on a Sunday. The Penguins, led by Sidney Crosby, flew from Montreal to Philadelphia after a game in Montreal, got on a bus and bussed down to Washington. I think they got in at 4:30 in the morning. And, Paul, they played at 12:30.
Wow. And what happened?
And that was all about Sidney. That's all about Sidney wanting to not let the league down and Ovechkin not wanting to let the league down.
And then here today, I mean, the league's been promoting this game all week, but the Penguins, I think, are very much within their rights and this prerogative to be able to rest Sidney Crosby today, especially considering his medical condition, coming out of the Olympics. I mean, this is a golden opportunity for Sid to maybe heal up even more and be really raring to go by the time the playoffs begin next weekend.
Shame on anybody that goes after the Penguins today for not dressing Sid, and I'll tell you why. When you play 82 games of the regular season, you earn the right, whether it's in game 75, 76, 77, whichever game it might be. If you've clinched a playoff spot before game 82, you've earned the right to decide who's going to play and who's not going to play. The Penguins have earned the right to decide what their roster is going to be. I respect that so much from Dan Muse. I respect that so much from Kyle Dubas. And what I really respect, and that's why I told you the story about Sid, about him coming in and making sure the team got to the rink in Washington and they played a 12:30 start, even though I think they got it at 4 a.m, because those guys have earned it, Paul. They've earned it, and I really respect that part of it. I really do.
One last topic relating to Sid Novi is that, I grew up here in Pittsburgh, Pierre, and we got a chance to see Roberto Clemente play his entire career with the Pirates. That would never have happened today in baseball's economy. But the National Hockey League went to salary cap and revenue sharing just as those two guys were coming into the league, and they essentially turned both markets into powerhouses in the NHL. And I don't think that happens without what we went through back in 04-05.
Oh, you couldn't be more right. I was part of a lot of different things that were going on in the league at that point. I had been on national TV since 1999, and everything you just said is spot on. And the biggest thing was they knew they had to transition from Lemieux and Gretzky, and they needed to find two guys that could carry the ball. And eventually they found them in Crosby and obviously Ovechkin. Malkin can go into that too. And it really helped grow the league unbelievably. So everything you just said is spot on. But if the NHL did not have a salary cap, and I know agents don't want to hear this, but I'm telling you the facts. If they didn't have a salary cap, half the teams in the league would not exist. They would not exist.
There's no question about it. I mean, any agent who doesn't agree or see that, I don't even know what they're doing in the business. I know Alan Walsh says things like that all the time. I just, come on. And then you look at Major League Baseball. Here are the Pirates now with a chance to have two studs for their entire careers, and it won't happen because of this baseball situation, although there's going to be a stoppage in baseball, and maybe that could change their scenario. But we see it just so starkly, the difference between what the Penguins have accomplished and what the Pirates haven't because of the two systems in the respective leagues. Pierre, thanks a lot for your time. Always appreciate it. Before you go, do you have any podcasts you'd like to promote right now, things you've done recently that you'd like people to tune into?
If you're a Pittsburgher, you'll be blown away by what I just did last week with Kevin Colbert, the former general manager of the Pittsburgh Steelers. He's an amazing friend. He's an awesome human being. He's a great father, great husband, huge proponent of sport in Pittsburgh in particular. And to listen to him is a life lesson in how to build a team. And he's a two-time Super Bowl champion, and I'm just so grateful to call him a friend. And we did the interview, Paul, and this is for all Pittsburgh fans. We did the interview on a 1-year anniversary of Ray Sherrill's death. And the reason why we became friends is because Ray introduced us, and Ray told me, you and Kevin are identical, except he does football and you do hockey.
That's cool. He is a great guy. Pierre, thanks a lot for everything, and we will talk to you before tomorrow's game against the Capitals, which will be played in Washington.
I can't wait, my friend. Thanks so much, Paul. Enjoy the day, everybody.
That's Pierre McGuire. We'll have Muse's Musings for you next on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Hey, what the heck is wrong with this thing?
Welcome to Morgan Wallen Radio.
What's happening now?
Morgan Wallen Radio.
Morgan Wallen what?
My very own channel, Morgan Wallen Radio, is on right now. Channel 64. I guess I'm the problem.
This I gotta hear.
It's pretty cool that I get to hopefully have an impact on somebody else being in charge of this station.
Morgan Wallen Radio, Channel 64, and in the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
What's the big difference been for the New York Islanders this season?
Matthew Schaefer. Here's Schaefer now passes Phil Housley for the most goals scored by an 18-year-old defenseman. The only other comparable I have right now, and I'm not saying he's going to have the Bobby Orr career, but it's got a great future ahead of him, is Bobby Orr to Matthew Schaefer.
NHL Morning Skate, weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Feel the pulse-pounding drama of the UEFA Champions League knockout stage on Sirius XM FC. The stakes are raised as Europe's elite.
Real Madrid do what they do best. A 5-star show from Manchester City. What a start for Inter.
Battle in a quest for club soccer's ultimate prize.
This is the place where dreams come true.
This is where legends are made. The Champions League knockout stage on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
We deliver the NHL.
With Brandon Bussey of the Carolina Hurricanes, did it ever cross your mind saying like, hey, it's going to be a tough journey to the NHL? And your mentality was, you know what, I'm just going to trust the process.
In hockey, opportunity comes in very different ways and at different times. My opportunity came now. The team in front of me has been unbelievable. They're the main reason for my success. It's fun to be a part of.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The Pittsburgh Penguins are brought to you by our founding partners, your neighborhood Ford store. Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs are the official vehicles of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now it's time for Muse's Musings.
Well, today the Penguins will keep Sidney Crosby, Chris Letang, Evgeny Malkin, Ben Kindle, Brian Rust, and Parker Wotherspoon out of the lineup. And I know there's a kind of a semantic issue here about is it rest or is it recuperation? I would call it sort of healing type situation because we know Sid is still can't be 100% after what he went through with the Olympic injury and such. Chris Letang is always a little banged up, and so is Gino. So this is just a golden opportunity to let these guys lick their wounds and get themselves back to 100%. And I would guess that every player on that roster has something that's ailing them, and this is a great opportunity for them to be able to, to really heal up and be 100% in time for the playoffs next weekend. Ben Kindle, Brian Rust, Parker Wotherspoon also held out of the lineup here today, and here's Dan Muse.
I think you've seen even over just the last stretch, I mean, a number of guys that have been coming in and out, guys have been, doing everything they can for this team. And so when we have a lot of guys that have been playing through a lot and that, they're banged up and they're, right now it's their day to day, and we'll continue to evaluate and make decisions moving forward. But, I think everybody's seen just kind of, whatever these guys have been putting in, and guys have been doing everything they can. And with that comes, things that they're dealing with.
2 minutes with the old 2-9er coming up. He visits with Kevin Weeks in just a moment on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Are you ready to flip the script? Our first ever Penguins playoff sweepstakes is live and gives you the chance to win. The grand prize includes 2 tickets to the first home playoff game, plus a Brian Rust autographed Penguins jersey. We're also drawing one more winner who will take home a Brian Rust autographed Penguins puck. Don't wait. This charitable sweepstakes benefiting the Penguins Foundation is only open until April 14th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. To enter for your chance to join us in the playoffs, visit penguinssweepstakes.com. Let's go, Pens!
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
Since FNB has been the official bank of the Pittsburgh Penguins, we've realized our teams aren't that different. We both have great checking, at home and on the road. With FNB's league-leading banking app, you get access to a deep lineup of checking accounts. And we both know the importance of big saves, like saving you time with our eStore Common app. One application for all your goals. Can your bank do that? Find out at fnb-online.com/eStore. FNB, member FDIC.
Hey, Pittsburgh fans, this is Phil Bork. In hockey, big goals cause big momentum shifts. As we all know, our Penguins have scored a lot of big goals. As a founding partner of the Penguins, PPG also likes big goals and is pursuing them off the ice to better the Pittsburgh community and the world. Together with the Penguins, PPG increases access to free STEM education through the annual Science at Play and Sticks and STEM events at PPG Paints Arena. We like big goals because when we score them, we all win.
This is the Pittsburgh Penguins Hockey Network. This copyrighted broadcast is the property of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Any rebroadcast or reproduction of all or part of this broadcast, or any descriptions or accounts of this game therein without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Penguins is strictly prohibited.
Captain of the Montreal Canadiens, Nick Suzuki, and we're joined with Sidney Crosby. Boko Imama. Campus forward, Brad Marchand, joined now by Jackie Redmond.
Time for 2 minutes with the old two-niner. Brought to you by your Pittsburgh area Lexus dealers. Experience amazing.
Welcome to 2 Minutes, the old two-niner. Pennington Caps this afternoon. We're joined now by longtime NHL goaltender and now an analyst for not only ESPN, but of course you know his smiling face. Look at this. Are those your real teeth? Wow, those
goalie,
are
smart.
Yeah, you are a smart goalie. Of course, I'm talking about Kevin Weeks. Weeksy, Penguins just issued a report for their lineup. No Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang, Erik Karlsson, Brian Rust, Ben Kendall, Parker Wotherspoon. The list goes on, and Connor Dewar's out week to week. Maybe your level of disappointment is probably the best way to ask the first question.
Yeah, well, I would answer that for like any fan would. Disappointed because you want to see those players. All of them have been impactful in their own way. I go back, I was telling you off camera, I do the draft every year. Kindle was a steal. What a steal. So hat tip to the Pens amateur scouts. He's been great for them this year. And obviously Sid and Gino and Letang, and I can go on. And Karlsson, who's been amazing this year. But Hall of Fame players. So yeah, listen, those guys have been playing through things. They've had nagging things all year. It's just kind of a little bit of a miracle that Sid's even back, that he got back after the Olympics to play. So I understand where they're coming from. Make sure you can get those guys feeling better, and you got to manage that.
Give me your flyby on the Washington Capitals. They won the Cup in 2018. They've only won one series since then. That was last year. We see this from a lot of teams, right? They go all in to win the Cup, and then there's we saw it with Carolina Hurricanes, we saw it with the Edmonton Oilers. We've seen it with other teams before.
Yeah, you're right. I think one thing with Washington is they've had good young pieces that have come up. They've drafted well. They've developed well. Hershey's been really good. They go to Calder Cup's final in the AHL almost every year. But one thing from them I would have liked to seen sooner, I told you this off the air, is little Protas, Ilya Protas, Protas' brother, younger brother. He shredded up the OHL 2 years ago. He shredded up the American League this year as a 19-year-old, and they could have used him down the stretch. I think especially given the injury to Pierre-Luc Dubois, who was out for a good chunk of the season, that hurt them because he's a key piece. But I think those are some of the things that impacted them. I would love to have seen little Protas up here a little bit sooner, even at the 10-game, 15-game mark.
Last one for you, Weeksy. All the money in your pocket, you have to bet if Alexander Ovechkin comes back next year, or is this his last year? Just give me your gut instincts on just what you're feeling.
My gut instincts, I just interviewed him, actually, it's going to air on ABC here, but my gut instinct is that he's not coming back, although we would all love to see him come back, but that's just my gut instinct. I could be wrong. He didn't give me any indication. I didn't even ask him the question since he did the sit-down with John Walton, but my instinct is that this may be the end of it for him, and what a career it was. One of the best to ever do it. Certainly at scoring goals, the GOAT, and one of the best players ever.
How many do you have against you?
Only one. Go ask him. Only one. That's it. But as he tell the listeners. But as he said, Weeks, I only played against you once. So that's what he said to me. That's his line. I go, you only got one on me. He's like, you remember I only played against you once. I'm like, well, fair, but still only one.
Thanks, Weeksy. Have a great call.
Anytime, Berkey. Thanks for having me, brother.
That's Kevin Weeks, and you're 2 Minutes with the Old Two-Niner. Enjoy the hockey game.
The Pittsburgh Penguins are brought to you by our founding partners, Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Because life. Now it is time for the Highmark Injury Update.
So the Penguins have a unique lineup here today. We'll give it to you very quickly. Chinakhov, Raquel, Koivunen, the top line. Mantha, Novak, Brazeau, the second line. McGroarty, Kevin Hayes in the middle. Avery Hayes on the right. And then Soderblom, Kopanen, and Achari. On defense, Shea and Clifton, Gerard, and St. Ivany. Jack St. Ivany back in the lineup. Ryan Graves gets a chance to play in that third pair on the left side with Ilya Solovyov. So that's the story, the Penguins lineup. And as for injuries, we kind of just ran through all those for you, but just suffice to say that the Penguins are going to go with a completely different kind of lineup, as you just heard. Sid, Tanger, Gino, Kindle, Russ, Wotherspoon all out. Lizotte out as well. Connor Dewar also is out of the lineup for the Penguins here today. Only Charlie Lindgren is on the injury list for the Washington Capitals. The Powerball lottery jackpot is $35 million. The drawing is tonight. You must be 18 or older to play. Please play responsibly at your local retailer or online. PA Lottery benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. Joe Brand and the old 2-9er have the call for you today. It's the Penguins and the Capitals coming up on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
It's hockey night in Pittsburgh, starring a lineup of Ford MVPs here to take on the ice.
The Bronco family and Explorer putting a twist on the classics. And the Mach-E, can I just say, it's electrifying.
Absolutely, blink and you'll miss the Ford Mustang.
And the Ready for Anything F-Series, best-selling trucks in Pittsburgh.
Wow, I'd hate to go up against this team.
Ford, the official car, truck, and SUV of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Bring your crew to a party on 5th Ave. Pittsburgh Penguins group tickets are perfect for celebrating birthdays, team outings, and work events. There are even fundraising opportunities available for your group.
They slot to Malkin, a drive. Loose puck in front, they score!
Make unforgettable memories together at PPG Paints Arena. This action-packed Penguin season is presented by UPMC. Special offers available for groups of 10 or more. Visit PittsburghPenguins.com/groups for all the details.
Dear team, thanks for showing up for me with the best face paint and taunting the other team in the kindest way. For standing on your seat when I need the support and screaming until your throat hurts because you know it makes a difference. For wearing my number. For being the best teammates a player could ask for. At Highmark, we're proud to be cheering alongside the best teammates. Fans like you. Because life. Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Official health plan of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Take a break and come out with us tonight.
Not tonight, man.
Come on. You deserve a night out. You're going to miss out.
Miss out on what?
While you stayed home, they won big. They celebrated. They got the suite, stayed up all night, and made memories. And you weren't there. Some nights are too good to sit out. Rivers Casino. Don't miss the moment.
It's a hockey night in Pittsburgh.
Crosby centering past Malkin, trying to get a couple jabs in. Crosby, backhanded pass, front score from Sidney Crosby.
Oh, get in the fast lane, Grandma. The bingo game is ready to roll.
The Pittsburgh Penguins Radio Network proudly presents Penguins Hockey. The Penguins Radio Network is presented by S&T Bank and brought to you in part by Number One Cochrane. Go one better. By IC Light. By McDonald's, providing you the official burger of the Pittsburgh Penguins. By Get Go Cafe and Market. Get Go, where the Pens go. By Coca-Cola, founding partner of the Pittsburgh Penguins. By Clearview Federal Credit Union, helping people enjoy a better life. And by Indra Energy, an official Penguins Pledge champion partner. Penguins Hockey on the Radio begins now.
One last home game during the regular season, and it could be the last time that Penguins fans get to see a legendary rival live and in person. As the Washington Capitals come into town clinging onto their playoff lives. And as for the playoff-bound Penguins, well, today's an opportunity to get a little bit of a breather. Welcome in, Penguins fans, and welcome back to PPG Paints Arena. For the final time this regular season, we can't wait to talk to you in the playoffs, but until then, I'm alongside the old 2-9er, Phil Bourque. Borky, Sidney Crosby, Evgeny Malkin, Chris Letang, Brian Rust, Erik Karlsson, Ben Kindle, Parker Wotherspoon, Connor Dewar, and all the King's horses and all the King's men are unavailable tonight. But with all that hard work that the Penguins did for the last month and a half, along with the entire year, they've deserved this. They've deserved this opportunity to do what they're doing with the roster right now.
Yeah, and Dan Muse was very emphatic. This is not a rest. We're not resting guys. These are guys that are banged up, legitimately banged up. And so it just goes to show you what these guys have been battling through. And you're right. I mean, obviously, I mean, if you're fighting for your playoff life, probably all those guys are still in the lineup. But you're right. You have been you've earned the right to take guys and put them on the back burner, if you will. And I wasn't sure if I was going to say this, but I'm going to say it anyways, Joe. I feel like the Penguins, there's no arrogance. I think there's a healthy chip on their shoulder that feels like, listen, this is, yes, it's on, the Penguins radio network, but also this is a ABC game. It's an nationally televised game. The Penguins, I don't think they give a hoot. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. A lot of people wanted to see Sidney Crosby versus Alexander Ovechkin. I get that. But at the end of the day, the Penguins are not here to cater to anybody else except in that side of that locker room, and to take care of their guys. And I think that's where they are right now. Again, I hope that doesn't come off the wrong way. It's not meant that way. It meant that there's been a lot of people that have been doubting this group. And so they're they're in their bunker, if you will. They're bunkering down. They're going to make sure they take care of them. They're going to do them, take care of them, take care of their players, make sure they are completely healthy for Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs.
But it is worth noting, this could be Alex Ovechkin's last game here at Pittsburgh. And Crosby, Malkin, Letang, Erik Karlsson, for that matter, none of them are available today. The good news is these two teams play again tomorrow. Yeah. That'll be in D.C., so who knows what happens right then and there. But I think you bring it up because of how significant this matchup, this rivalry has been over the years. I mean, we just had John Walton, the radio voice of the Washington Capitals, in here, and it was just really cool to hear you two ooze about the rivalry that these two teams have brought over the years. It's a significant situation right now. The greatest goal scorer of NHL history could be playing his last game in this building.
It could be. We don't know. He's not really tipping his hand. He has said he wants to address it in the offseason, but you and I know, Joe, he knows one way or the other. Again, we don't know where it's going to go. I would imagine the last home game for the Washington Capitals, he'll be in that one, but you're right. Will Sid, will Gino, will Tanger, because you're right, this has been going on for 20 years. And I asked John Walton, and I ask you, Joe, can you think of another rivalry in the league right now? Another rivalry that's like this, especially when you have two polarizing figures as Sid and Ovi.
I can't think of another rivalry in the history of the game that has gone this significant, and maybe even in sports.
Yeah.
These two players for this long, exactly.
You're right, and and John Walton was bringing up one thing, and I was bringing up another thing. It's just ironic that the one cup that Washington has won, they had to slay the dragon. They had to go through Pittsburgh because all 5 cups that the Penguins have won, they've gone through Washington. Wow. It's just it's amazing, right? And that's where it really gets to next level stuff. You have to have those postseason just absolute battles, and that healthy hatred that players have, that fan bases have. The heck, and I even said to John Walton, even broadcasters, it spills over. Before the game, we're yucking it up, but when we pass each other in the hallway, once the game's going on, it's a little bit different mood. It's a little bit different eye contact, a little side eye to you, Johnny Walton, right? And that's why we love sports, right? It gets our competitive juices flowing, that healthy hatred, and when it's all said and done, you put your weapons down, you shake hands, you bro hug, and you move on with your life. And you just wonder when that day's coming, because it's coming fast between Sid and Ovi.
This is the first time we've had you on the airwaves since the Penguins have clinched the playoff spot. What's this return to the postseason mean to you?
Everything. I mean, you know how I feel about this city and this team, that it's where we belong. And I never took it for granted, Joe. I never once took it for granted when we were on those runs. But you had an expectation of, not that we were going to make the playoffs. How deep could we go? And to be without it for 3 years and now have it back again, it feels like the first time. It does. It feels like that girl that you loved in high school, Joe. You haven't seen her for a while, about 3 years. You always were pining for her. And she's moved back in town. And you're like, oh boy.
She's still got it.
She's back. And I want her.
All right, pal. Last home game of the regular season, but not our last home game. Great to hear.
Let's go.
That's the old 2-9 Phil Bourque. We'll have puck drop for you after our anthem as the Pens host the Washington Capitals, who are fighting for their playoff lives. Here from PPG Paints Arena, the Penguins with 2 games after this one. Both will be on the road. Really quick, our starting lineups are presented by Clearview Federal Credit Union. Financial advice is closer than you think. Top line looks like Igor Chinikov, Ricard Raquel, and Ville Koivunen. The top defensive pair today, Ryan Shea with Connor Clifton and Artur Shilovs in net for the Penguins. Puck drop is next. It's all here on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Hey, Pittsburgh fans, this is Paul Steigerwald. In hockey, big goals cause big momentum shifts. As we all know, our Penguins have scored a lot of big goals over the years. As a founding partner of the Penguins, PPG also likes big goals and is pursuing them off the ice to better the Pittsburgh community and the world. They develop solutions that preserve natural resources with the goal to protect and beautify our world. PPG Paints Arena is proud to be the first LEED Gold certified NHL arena. We like big goals because when we score them, we all win.
The Penguins have officially clinched a spot in the playoffs. Are you ready to flip the script? Our first ever Penguins playoff sweepstakes is live and gives you the chance to win. The grand prize includes 2 tickets to the first home playoff game plus a Brian Rust autographed Penguins jersey. We're also drawing one more winner who will take home a Brian Rust autographed Penguins puck. Don't wait. This charitable sweepstakes benefiting the Penguins Foundation is only open until April 14th at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. To enter for your chance to join us in the playoffs, visit penguinssweepstakes.com. Let's go, Pens.
In Pittsburgh, champions aren't just born, they're built. And NSS Life has been part of that winning legacy for decades.
We've stood with the city's champions on and off the field,
building futures that are strong, secure, and built to last.
NSS Life is proud to be part of Pittsburgh's past and your future.
NSS Life, the official life insurance company of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
NSS Life, where family matters.
We're all set for hockey here at PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. How's it going, Penguins fans? Alongside the old 2-9er Phil Bourque, I'm Joe Brand, and we are just thrilled to have you here with us for another edition of Pittsburgh Penguins hockey. The Penguins have punched their playoff tickets. They're heading to the postseason for the first time in 4 years, but they still have some business to take care of on the regular season. One game here at home against Washington. They'll be in Washington, D.C. tomorrow to visit these Capitals, and then we'll wrap up the regular season on Tuesday in St. Louis against the Blues. But for one more time here in the regular season, we'll drop the puck at PPG Paints Arena. And that's what just happened. We're underway here in Pittsburgh. Opening faceoff is brought to you by number 1 Cochran Club One Rewards. Earn points and save money with every dollar spent on service. Capitals dump it down to the Penguin zone. A quick shot on net that Artur Shilov snags with a glove save. And we're underway. The Capitals attacking from right to left in their road white sweaters. Logan Thompson in net for Washington. The Penguins attacking from left to right in their home black and golds with Artur Shilovs in net.
Got a pretty good matchup in goal. Artur Shilovs won 3 straight, 5 of his last 6, and the guy to our right, Logan Thompson, he's a silly sider, catches with the right hand. He's won 5 of his last 6.
2 silly siders on this Washington Capitals roster. Charlie Lindgren being the other. They're actually carrying 3 goalies these days with Mitchell Gibson, but has yet to make an appearance this year.
Yeah, and he's never played an NHL game before, mostly East Coast Hockey League. For Mitchell Gibson, and you're right. The other goalie is on the shelf for a while, and Charlie Lindgren.
Over the Capitals line, the Penguins take it. Brazeau gets tripped up. It's taken away by Rasmus Sandin. This Washington Capitals team fighting for their playoff lives. They need some help along with an undefeated stretch at the end of the year. 89 points. This is their 80th game of the season. They're 5 points behind the Ottawa Senators currently at this moment. The Senators with the second wild card spot.
Sends up 1-0 as they tick it down in Long Island. As we have a puck go up into the screen here. Sens are on the power play, up 1-0 with 8.5 minutes to go in Long Island.
We were talking about it before puck drop. The Bruins already with a loss to the Tampa Bay Lightning, so that does affect things. The Bruins with the top wild card spot at the moment, 2 points ahead of the Ottawa Senators, so they're looking to move into a tie with Ottawa. And actually, they're with Boston, and Ottawa has more regulation wins, so that would move them past the Bruins for that top wild card spot. Here's a shot on net from Jacob Chychrun and missed all the way to the far point. Dumped back in by Van Riemsdyk. Chipped along the far side, and the Penguins take it out, but they cough it up to Tom Wilson. Couldn't work it over the Penguins line. Got tied up by Sam Girard and Elmer Soderblom. As the Penguins poke at the puck, it gets rolled down to the far corner. Jack St. Ivany races it down, as St. Ivany is back in the lineup, his first game since January 25th in a contest he was injured against the Vancouver Canucks. Dumped in by the Penguins is swatted over to the far side by Logan Thompson. Pitched along the end boards and behind the net to Achari. He got it up along the near side. And now it's taken away by Connor McMichael of Washington. Out to the neutral zone it goes. Joona Koppanen will collect. He's playing in his first NHL game since November. Dump back into the Washington end. Penguins will get a change. 2 minutes gone in this game. The Capitals with the only shot on goal so far. Ryan Leonard spins it down to the Penguins' end. Far corner, Ryan Graves digs after it, but couldn't keep hold of it as Leonard will pitch it along the near boards. They try to go D to D, and now it was stopped by Igor Chinikov. He tried to go off to the races, couldn't take the puck with him. Raquel does, though, to Graves, who fires a shot. It got deflected. Long rebound off the end boards, but Raquel was tied up by Cole Hudson. He couldn't fire off a shot. Now Ville Koivunen back at the NHL roster. Got it to Chinikov, to Raquel. He tried to give it back to Koivunen, but it went off the skate of one of the Capitals. Now Washington trying to get the puck back in the neutral zone. And they pitch it back to Matt Roy. Capitals will reset and take it back over the Penguins line. Hudson down along the near boards, got crunched into the wall by Ilya Solovyov. And behind the net, Connor Clifton will fork it up to the far side. Kicked out by Avery Hayes. Now Rucker McGroarty dashing over the Capitals line to Kevin Hayes. Curling around, centering pass, and they couldn't get it to go. And a second attempt went off a Capital who was parked in front of the net.
I love that speed by Rucker McGroarty. He came flying through the neutral zone and found left-hand shooting Kevin Hayes, who went from forehand to backhand and just threw it into the blue paint. A couple of good whacks by the Penguins in front of Thompson.
That line made up of McGroarty, Kevin Hayes, and Avery Hayes. It's the same line that was featured in Avery Hayes' NHL debut, the last game before the Olympic break. The game that Avery Hayes scored his first 2 NHL goals in his first period. Anthony Beauvillier sends a shot pass over to the far circle looking for Dylan Strome. He couldn't handle it. Penguins work it the other way, but cough it up in the neutral zone until it's dragged over the line. Now Novak got it to Mantha. His centering pass went right to the stick of Dylan Strome, who will escape it out to the neutral zone. Still no score, almost 4 minutes gone in this game. There's Chychrun. Got it over to Van Riemsdyk. They'll curl around as the Penguins get a change. Chip it down to the Penguins' end near corner. Jack St. Ivany chases it down. St. Ivany still looking for his first NHL goal. Wheeled it along the near boards. Now pitched back down. St. Ivany picks it off the end wall. Flips it up the far side. It got past Soderblom and out to the neutral zone that Jacob Chychrun will collect. Over 4 minutes gone in this game. No score, and Washington still technically with the only shot on goal. And behind the net, it's Alexei Protas. Trying to work it up along the far wall. It gets spun back the other way. Now dancing to the high slot is Hudson. He fires a wrister, blockered away by Artur Shilovs. Rebound to the near boards, but the Capitals keep hold of it. High slot to the far circle. Up top again. Wilson a blast. Girard slowed it down. Washington couldn't get the redirection home as it's taken by Soderblom in the far corner of his own end. Down to his knees. He gets taken down to the ice, but still able to dump it in. And St. Ivany throws a shoulder into Tom Wilson there on the far side.
Yeah, Tom Wilson was off stride there, completely off balance, but anytime Tom Wilson goes down on the ice, you're going to hear a big roar here from the Penguin fans.
Now Chinikov with a quick shot on net. And Thompson steers wide over to the near side. Capitals in motion. They'll take it over the Penguin line. It's Leonard trying to poke it ahead to Pierre-Luc Dubois. Now the Penguins take it back. Chinikov over the Capitals line. He lost it.
Took himself offside, delayed offside here.
Over 5.5 minutes gone in the game. No score. Penguins being outshot 2-1. Pierre-Luc Dubois picks it up at center ice. Over the Penguin logo, he'll dish it on back to Martin Feravari. These two teams seeing each other for the first time since November. It's kind of weird. Now these two division rivals, as a shot on net is snatched by Artur Shilovs, keeping this game scoreless. Number one, the Pens and Caps only see each other 3 times this year. First meeting went to the Penguins. It was here in Pittsburgh on November 6th. A 5-3 winner. Sidney Crosby had 2 goals.
That was a wild game. The Penguins were up 3-0 in that game. Washington roared back, and then there was a Brian Rust power play goal in the third period, which ended up being the GWG. You got the ENG, empty net goal by Connor Dewar. But that was a wild one. Alexander Ovechkin had 2 apples in that game, and Sid had a 1+1. Excuse me, Sid had 2 goals, 2 power play goals.
The Penguins have done a good job quieting Alexander Ovechkin the last couple of years. A quick shot on net is patted away by Artur Shilovs. In 4 games last year, Ovechkin just got 1 point. It was 1 goal. And it was goal number 897. Second to last game of the year. And he had already beaten Wayne Gretzky's record. Comes into today with 928 career goals. Capitals dump it on in. Both teams will get a change. It's swept out to the neutral zone and scooped up by Van Riemsdyk.
Ovi's gone 4 games without a goal, and with this one tomorrow against the Penguins, and then finish up in Columbus. You wonder. You have to wonder. Is that it? Is this it? Is this the end for Ovi?
I heard a really cool story from John Walton prior to the game, but here come the Penguins. Could be a little 2-on-1 here. Mantha over the Capitals line. He got tied up by Anthony Beauvillier, the former Penguin. They work it up to the far point. Gerard, a blast, deflected and steered wide on a stop from Logan Thompson. Mantha still with it, though. High slot downstairs. Clifton. He'll take it to the near side. Curl around. Couldn't get a clean pass off. Now to Mantha. Far circle. His wrister blocked. Second attempt goes wide. Over to the near side. It's shoveled out by Washington. Gerard will kick it over to Jack St. Ivany, and the Penguins look to get it back into the Capitals zone. But John Walton, again, the radio voice of the Capitals. Here's a wrister that just sizzled wide from Avery Hayes. Second attempt went for a centering pass, did Tommy Novak. Penguins try to keep hold of it in the Capitals zone. Poked out into the Pens end. Protas racing after it, but Gerard gets there first. Some good hard work by the Penguins offensively. They're back in the Capitals zone. Soderblom far circle, curling in behind the net, goes crashing into the far corner.
Lost an edge.
Washington brings it the other way. Faravari accelerating into the Penguin zone. Got crunched into the wall by Ilya Solovyov. He got it to Graves. He'll dance in behind Shilov's net, work it over to the far side. But as John Walton was saying, he was in the building the day Wayne Gretzky scored number 894, his last goal of the season. And at the time, no one knew that that was going to be Wayne Gretzky's last goal of the season and last of his career. Almost same kind of feeling here with Alexander Ovechkin. Again, sitting at 928 in his 1,571st career game. Still no score. Almost over 8 minutes gone in the game. As Elmer Soderblom carries it over the Capitals line. Got tied up at the near corner. Taken away by Sandin. They'll play it over to Leonard, who's blasting into the Penguin zone. Tied up at the far point by Joona Koppanen. Shilov's playing it in behind his net. He felt some pressure from Connor McMichael, but was able to get rid of the puck. Now it's dumped down the other way by the Pens. And good hustling effort from Justin Brazeau. Negated icing. Penguins try to keep it deep in the Capitals zone. 11-11 to go in this first period, no score. Shots on goal in favor of the Caps, 3-1. Washington with the puck back in their own end. They'll reset. As Trevor Van Riemsdyk slings it down into the Penguin zone. Kicked over to the far corner to Ryan Shea. Tried to play keep away from Leonard. He got it to the far circle. As Justin Sourdif dances around. Now to the near point. Chychrun. Wrister coming. Deflected wide of the net. Near corner, Ryan Shea will dig it out to McGroarty. He'll get it to Raquel, speeding over the neutral zone. Koivunen over the Capitals line. Back to Raquel, near side. Puck was behind him, though. He couldn't fire off a shot. Washington now working it the other way with some speed. Far side over the Penguin line. Sam Girard takes the pass away, rather the dangling effort away from Miroshna Chikov. 10:20 to go in this first. Still no score. And dump in by the Penguins in the neutral zone. When you get a whistle blown, though.
Hold on, because this one came from the other side of center. Were they going to go to break? Let's go to break, Joe.
We're going to go to break here on the Penguins Radio Network with no score in the first, presented by S&T Bank.
For 48 straight years, Ford F-Series have been the best-selling trucks in America. We got here by engineering breakthrough technology, redefining Built Ford Tough, and never settling for second best. But what's really made Ford F-Series the #1 selling trucks in America is you. Ford F-Series, built Ford tough. based on 1977 to 2024 calendar year total sales.
Tender Care Learning Centers, the early education professionals, has been providing quality child care and preschool education for over 40 years. To find one of our 20 convenient locations near you, visit tendercarelc.org. Tender Care Learning Centers is the child care provider of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
No matter the occasion, there's always a reason to celebrate with a DQ ice cream cake. Creamy DQ soft serve and the chocolatey crunch center is great at any get-together. Customize yours today at DQ.com. DQ is the official ice cream and ice cream cake of the Penguins.
Wake up to value at Get Go Cafe and Market. Mix and match your mornings with 2 breakfast sandwiches for just $6. Choose 2 breakfast sandwiches stacked with egg, meat, and cheese on your choice of bagel, fluffy biscuit, or flaky croissant. Exclude steak and Impossible sandwiches. Fill up with 2 breakfast sandwiches for just $6 at Get Go Cafe and Market, the official convenience store of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
No score here from Pittsburgh. We've got 10:18 to go in the first. Shots on goal in favor of the Capitals right now, 3-1. Anthony Mantha being recognized in the crowd right now as he was nominated for the Bill Masterton Award. Penguins, again, without a lot of players today. Anthony Mantha, actually the team leader in goals right now with 31, a new career high. One of the few of the main offensive producers this year still out there right now.
Yeah, former Washington Capital. So you have a couple players. Anthony Mantha's just had a monster year with that 31 goals. But you got Brian Rust at 29, Sidney Crosby at 29, Card Raquel at 24. He'd absolutely would love to get that 25 for sure. That's a nice round number considering the amount of time he's missed.
How about Brian Rust, too? Such a big deal of him reaching 30 goals last year.
Yeah.
Again, we'll see what the roster looks like these next couple of days.
And Rusty's missed, 9 games this year.
Yeah.
And still knocking on the big 3-0.
Career years for Connor Dewar, Igor Chinikov, Anthony Mantha, Blake Lizotte,
Justin Brazeau.
And the list goes on and on. Obviously Ben Kindle, the rookie. This is dumped in by Brazeau. Near corner of the Capital zone. Pulled out by Roy. He'll get it to the far side. Pressured by Ryan Graves. He sends it deep. 9.5 to play in the first period. Penguins and Capitals without a score. Washington out shooting the Pens now 4-1. As it spun around the board's far side. Anthony Beauvillier collects at the point. Got it to Faravari above the near circle. Centering pass. Curling back is Dylan Strome. Now downstairs. Maybe they were trying to go to Ovechkin, who was tied up by Ryan Graves. Ville Koivunen brings it the other way. Shovels it back to Igor Chinikov in the near side of the Capital zone. Chinikov trying to keep hold of it. Tied up by Beauvillier. It's poked out to the neutral zone. He'll sweep it ahead to Strome. Strome near side gets his pocket picked from Ryan Graves. Now ahead to Koivunen. Catches a loose puck in the Capital zone. Tied up by Faravari. Tries to stop on a dime, but still gets slammed into the boards. Got a short pass away to Ricard Raquel, though. Now back to the corner. Koivunen tries to work it up the far wall. It goes tumbling that way, but Ovechkin will take it to the neutral zone with a rink-wide pass to Strome. Ladled it to Beauvillier, and now Connor Clifton came away with the puck. Got it ahead of the neutral zone. Raquel in between the penalty boxes. Took a check from Beauvillier, and the Penguins right back into the Capital zone. Chipped down to the near corner. Sandin takes it on the far side. Up ice to the neutral zone. Cuts over the Penguins logo. Chips it to the near side for Wilson. Fires a shot and a glove save from Artur Shilovs at the top of his crease. 8:17 to go in the first. Penguins and Capitals still scoreless here in Pittsburgh. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
And whatever team drafts me, I'm grateful, whether it's the number 1 pick or whether it's the 199th pick.
Dreams are about to become a reality for the stars of college football. And SiriusXM NFL Radio is your guide on the path to the 2026 draft.
There are no 2 draft boards the same.
Listen to interviews with all the prospects, coaches, and general managers.
We're just trying to find the right guys.
And hear every pick of the 2026 draft on NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
What's the big difference been for the New York Islanders this season?
Matthew Schaefer. Here's Schaefer now passes Phil Housley for the most goals scored by an 18-year-old defenseman. The only other comparable I have right now, and I'm not saying he's going to have the Bobby Orr career, but he's got a great future ahead of him, is Bobby Orr to Matthew Schaefer.
NHL Morning Skate. Weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. We deliver the NHL.
With Brandon Busty of the Carolina Hurricanes, did it ever cross your mind saying like, hey, it's going to be a tough journey to the NHL? And, your mentality was, you know what, I'm just going to trust the process?
In hockey, opportunity comes in very different ways and at different times. My opportunity came now. The team in front of me has been unbelievable. They're the main reason for my success. It's fun to be a part of.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Penguins and Capitals still scoreless. We've got 8:17 to go in this first period. Shots on goal in favor of Washington, 5-1.
Interesting news out of Long Island, New York, as the Ottawa Senators roll into Elmont, New York, and they punch the New York Islanders right in the nose. That's a final, 3-0. Senators beat the New York Islanders.
The New York Islanders have gone 1-4-0 since the Penguins beat them at home. They have 2 games left. They're both at home, hosting Montreal tomorrow night, and then wrapping up the season hosting Carolina on Tuesday. The Capitals have it. Quick shot from the far circle, and it's shouldered away by Artur Shelovs. Washington sends it off the end boards. Quick attempt from Wilson that Shelovs was able to stuff out. Second attempt at the far circle. Didn't get all the way through. Penguins work it the other way. Elmer Soderblom will backhand flip it down to the Capitals' end far corner. Spun along the boards as it's taken by Protas into the neutral zone. Over the Penguin line. Got it to Wilson at the point. He'll kick it down to the corner that Girard will play off the wall. Got sandwiched by a couple of white sweaters as Protas got it up to Wilson, but it jumped off his stick. Now taken by Sordiff over the far circle and redirected in front, but just wide on the attempt from Protas. Now the Capitals are offside with 7:17 to go in the first. As Washington nearly picked up the first goal of this game, but we stay scoreless. Shots on goal in favor of Washington, 6-1.
Well, unleashing AI takes brain power and real power. From right here in Pittsburgh, EQT fuels the innovation driving the next big play. EQT, unleashing America's energy future. And that backdoor play there to Alexei Protas, they call him Big Pro because his brother's in the middle of that line with Tom Wilson and Alexei Ilya Protas, a.k.a. Little Pro. Not so little. Both Protases are 6'6". Alexei, older, is 250. Little Pro, he's just a measly 225.
Yeah, that's it. 19 years old, third-round pick back in 2024. This is pulled up by Kevin Hayes. As he got it to Jack St. Ivany in behind Shelov's net. St. Ivany pressured. Number 3 gets it over to number 2. McGroarty will play it ahead of the neutral zone as Hayes sweeps it over to Kevin Hayes. Now Avery Hayes, far circle, turning around in the slot. Couldn't fire off a shot as he couldn't get past Matt Roy. 6.5 to play in this first. No score. Penguins being outshot 6-1. Standing with the puck to his left. Cole Hudson sends it over to the far side and up to the neutral zone. So the Capitals into the Penguins' end, but it's kicked out. Back to center ice. Feravari dumps it back into the Penguins' end. Around the boards to the far corner for Ryan Graves. To Solovyov. He'll take his time, then skate it up ice. Try to go for a bank pass off the far wall to Brazeau. Out of his reach. That's icing by the Pens. 6 minutes to go in the first. Penguins and Capitals are scoreless.
And if you're wondering why Ilya Protas, and you mentioned it, at 19 was allowed to play in the American Hockey League, I'll tell you why. It's because he was drafted out of the USHL, the United States Hockey League, rather than the CHL, the Canadian Hockey League. That makes him exempt from the transfer agreement that restricts 19-year-old CHL players from playing in the AHL.
Puck goes out of play. That rule is changing next year, correct?
It is.
Yeah. We'll go to a break. 5:56 to go in the first. Penguins and Capitals are scoreless. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
The heaviest metal credit card of all time. Rumored to be one of only 18 in existence. Plated with the very same tungsten that forged the International Space Station. And wielded at business dinners like a samurai sword. It's a classic corporate power move. But the real power move? Having end-to-end visibility on your most critical shipments. FedEx, the new power move.
It's hockey night in Pittsburgh, starring a lineup of Ford MVPs here to take on the ice.
The Bronco family and Explorer putting a twist on the classics. And the Mach-E, can I just say, it's electrifying.
Absolutely. Blink and you'll miss the Ford Mustang.
And the Ready for Anything F-Series, best-selling trucks in Pittsburgh.
Wow, I'd hate to go up against this team.
Ford, the official car, truck, and SUV of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Pittsburgh-based EQT Corporation is the top natural gas producer in the United States and is a proud sponsor of the Pittsburgh Penguins' pathway to net zero. EQT is an industry leader in cutting emissions and using our region's clean resources to replace dirtier sources of energy overseas. EQT and the Penguins are focused on achieving key climate goals and reducing emissions across Pittsburgh and beyond. Visit EQT.com to learn more about how EQT is moving towards the future and setting the standard for production of affordable, reliable, and clean energy.
Penguins and Capitals scoreless here from Pittsburgh. We've got about 6 minutes to go in the first period. Washington still with their playoff hopes alive, but dwindling down, are out shooting the Penguins, who will be heading to the postseason 6-1.
Doesn't really feel like the Penguins are being outshot 6-1. But I do feel in the last 4 or 5 minutes here that Washington has got some traction and some extended offensive zone time against the Penguins. Noel Acciari gets bumped out of the faceoff here, and Raquel will take it.
It's taken away by Igor Chinikov. He'll chip it down to the Washington end near corner. Jab after the puck, but it rolls over to the far side.
Acciari comes off, and Billy Koivunen jumps on the ice to join his mates.
Saw a tweet from the PA announcer, Ryan Mill. Can't remember the last time the Penguins didn't have a captain or alternate captain out there on the ice.
Oh, boy.
Nobody wearing a letter for the Penguins in this game. Billy Koivunen feeds it to Raquel. He's over the Capitals line, drags and fires. Got it deflected by Jacob Chychrun. Out of play it goes. 5:21 to go in this first. No score.
Well, if you're giving out 3 A's, Joe, who would you give them to?
Let's see here. Kevin Hayes.
Okay.
Ryan Shea.
Okay.
Anthony Mantha.
Anthony Mantha, not Ricard Raquel.
Oh, Ricard Raquel, yeah.
Okay, 4 A's.
4 A's.
4 A's equal to, okay.
So many guys missing. St. Ivany blasted, didn't get all the way through. Kopanen kicks it to his stick far circle. At the point, he'll send it down. Swinging it behind the net to Noel Acciari. He's fighting for it. Corner of the trapezoid along with Ilya Protas, the younger brother of Alexei. Now St. Ivany's got it. High slot wrister deflected in front by Soderblom. Popped up, and the Capitals, waiting for the whistle to blow as it did skim the netting. 5 minutes to go in this first. We've got no score.
Really like the way Jack St. Ivany, as he was over on the left D there as a right-hand shot, and he quickly got his feet moving. When he got the pass low to high to St. Ivany, got his feet moving, got to the middle of the ice, and the whole time his head was up, looking for a shooting lane and looking for Elmer Soderblom, who was right in front of Logan Thompson. Good, hard wrist shot by St. Ivany. Did catch the shaft of the stick of Soderblom, but deflected up into the screen.
And again, St. Ivany missing a good amount of time this year with a left hand fracture. He had to go under surgery after the game against the Vancouver Canucks in late January. He was really finding a lot of rhythm at that time. And in fact, I think he was getting close to sniffing his first NHL goal.
Yeah, January 25th was that game.
18th game of the season now, his 51st in his NHL career. Here's a shot by Leonard that sailed high of the net. Took a long, high rebound off the glass and deflected out of play somewhere. 4:33 to go in this first. We've still got no score.
Well, tonight's Powerball jackpot is a whopping $35 million. Yes, the estimated annuity is $35 million. So don't forget to play at your local retailer, or do like the cool kids do. Play online from your couch. Pennsylvania Lottery proceeds benefits older Pennsylvanians every day. You got to be 18 or older, and please play responsibly.
Just become a multi-millionaire from your couch. Doesn't sound like a bad gig. Face-off won by Washington. Here's a wrister that Shilovs fights over to the far side. Jack St. Ivany tries to work it along the far boards. Capitals dig it out. Leonard in the circle. Now to the near side. Wrister, and another save by Shilovs. Long rebound. It popped over to the near side. Capitals will swing it over to the far wall. Pierre-Luc Dubois plays it to the point. Now to the near side. Leonard again with a quick shot. That went wide. McGroarty plays it off the far boards. Tied up into the wall by Roy. He and St. Ivany going after the puck to the left of them, and it's worked out by McGroarty. Now taken by McGroarty. He'll take it up ice to the neutral zone. Kevin Hayes back to McGroarty. Far circle. Fired. Got deflected as Washington looks to pump it out of their zone. Tired bunch out there for the Caps. They'll get a much-needed change after everyone being out there for at least 69 seconds. Up ice near side. Ilya Solovyov will play it ahead and dump it down to the Capitals' end. Wheeled along the boards. Solovyov pitches it in behind the net. Novak couldn't collect as Brazeau pokes at it. Worked over to the far corner. Farivari playing it off the wall. He'll fork it out to the neutral zone. Solovyov was waiting for it, but he got taken down to the ice by one of the Capitals as they poke it down to the Penguins' end. Far corner, kick it up the wall. And it's pulled away by Duhaime. They'll work it down to the corner as Ryan Graves got in behind Justin Sordiff. Worked over to the near side. That grabs the netting as well. 3 minutes to go in this first period. The Penguins and Capitals still without a score. Shots on goal in favor of the Caps, 7-1.
I do like what I've seen so far from Archer Shilovs. As I mentioned, he's won 3 straight, 5 of his last 6. He was really good in that game against Florida on the 5th of this month. We stopped 29 of 31, and there was a good chance there by Cole Hudson in the previous shift where he walked in from his left point position, walked it all the way down to the top of the circle. And I love that Shilovs came flying out, good position to come out way outside his blue paint to challenge Hudson. I think he forced Hudson to shoot that puck wide just because of how big he was. Big shot here by Ovechkin right off the faceoff. Stopped by Shilovs again. Outside his blue paint there, his heels right on the red outline of the blue crease.
Yeah, Shilov's last 2 games were those back-to-back games against Florida. Last weekend against the Panthers, because Stuart Skinner was unavailable right before puck drop, it was announced, after taking a puck to the face in the game the night before. Capitals have it in the Penguins zone. Farivari, high slot, wrister, didn't get through traffic. Worked over to the far corner as Beauvillier falls down to the ice. Nothing called as it spun up the far wall. Taken by Sandin at the point. He'll pitch it down to the corner. Once again, Beauvillier takes it away from his former teammate in Ryan Shea. Pitched over to Dylan Strome. The far circle for Beauvillier. To Strome again, try to work it up to the point. Instead gets it to Beauvillier in behind the net. He'll get it back to Strome, went through his wickets, up to Sandin at the far half wall. He'll take it to the slot. Shot fired, that got deflected. Strome plays it off the end boards. Tried to sneak one past Shilovs, but he read the play. Now to the far circle. Ovechkin, a shot and a save by Shilovs, his 9th of the day.
Yeah, Shilovs again pushing out, getting his shoulders really as high as he can up in the air to look big against Ovechkin, and makes that save with his chest protector.
9 saves for Shilovs. The Penguins still being credited with just 1 shot on goal so far. We've got less than 2 minutes to go in this opening period. No score. Line change for the Capitals, but the Penguins take it away in the neutral zone. Koivunen near half wall, fluttered a pass right to Ryan Leonard, or rather Jacob Chikrin, who kicked it the other way for the Capitals. Now Gerard has to race it down in his own end, works it over to St. Ivany, ahead to Soderblom, up ice far side of the neutral zone, chips it down to the Capitals end. Chikrin racing after it, got it in behind the net. Soderblom couldn't get hold of it. Worked over to the far corner for Koivunen as Achari fights for the puck, but it's worked out to the neutral zone by Washington. St. Ivany kicked it away from Protas. St. Ivany ahead to Koivunen. That'll work off the near corner. Logan Thompson plays the puck. First time we've had to say his name in a while. Final minute in this opening period. Still no score. Penguins being outshot 9-1. McGroarty plays it off the near boards down into Washington's end. And behind the net, Roy kicks it along the far boards. Ryan Graves kept it onside, but Washington dragged it out to the neutral zone. Leonard to Dubois over the Penguins line. Near circle, takes it to the half boards. Fluttered it out back to Leonard. He'll take it down to the corner. Kevin Hayes takes it away at the near wall. Got it out to center ice, but Matt Roy took it back for Washington. Less than 30 seconds to go in this opening period. Leonard again, far side. Dubois over the Penguins line, down to the corner. Little give and go to the high slot. Avery Hayes poked it out as Rutger McGroarty tried to snap a pass ahead to Kevin Hayes. Washington takes it the other way in the Penguin zone. Rister got blocked by Ryan Graves. Goloviov plays the rebound, works it to the far side, down to single digits to go in this first period. Avery Hayes over the Capitals line, flutters it towards the net. It's wide. Kevin Hayes, quick shot on net, hit the side of the cage, and that'll do it. So 20 minutes in the books here in Pittsburgh. The Penguins and Capitals are still scoreless. Washington with 9 of the 10 shots on goal in this opening period.
Doesn't feel like that. I thought the Penguins were good. I mean, obviously with the lineup that they have, they didn't generate a ton of offense or chances, just one shot on goal. They got to the forecheck. I thought they had some good offensive zone time. This doesn't feel like a 9-1 shot deficit here for the Penguins. They did a lot of good things, but obviously their best player was their goaltender, Artur Shilovs. I just liked his body positioning, and I just like the confident type of saves that he made.
Shilovs with his second career game against the Washington Capitals, and he's looking for his second career win. 9 saves in the opening 20 to keep this game scoreless. Brian Metzer is standing by. He actually just popped into the booth. He'll have the first intermission report for us as you're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
What a matchup we've got, folks. Just non-stop action. The energy is electric, and the fans are all in. An intense game like this calls for a Coca-Cola. Crisp and refreshing. That's a game changer. Yeah, that taste scores every time. And just like that, they're back at it. Passionate fans and an ice-cold Coca-Cola. Now that's a winning combo. No matter the team, no matter the sport, everyone knows fan work is thirsty work. Enjoy a Coca-Cola.
Ever dreamed about signing with the Penguins? Now you can. With the Penguins Power Play package from FMB, you can be a part of the team with a Pens branded debit card, cashback credit card, and personal checks. Plus, score exclusive rewards like discounts on tickets, Pens gear, and more. Sign with the Penguins at fmb-online.com/Penguins. FMB, the official bank of the Pittsburgh Penguins. FMB, member FDIC, credit card subject to approval. See site for details.
Protecting your assets should not be. When it comes to insurance, employee benefits, or surety bonding, rely on the industry experts at Suber to help you minimize risk, maximize potential, and improve your bottom line. Suber, an official partner of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Glassmere Fuel Service is hiring CDL fuel delivery drivers. We're building a new starting lineup in Altoona, plus hiring new drivers in Latrobe and Tarentum. Call 800-235-9054 or apply today at glassmerefuel.com.
What is life-changing medicine? Is it returning to the playing field or your favorite hiking path after an injury? Or running with your grandkids after a joint replacement? At UPMC, life-changing medicine is all those things. Through innovative research, rehabilitation, and advanced surgical procedures, our experts get you back to what you love doing. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
This is the Penguins Live Intermission Report.
And welcome into our first intermission report where the Penguins and Washington Capitals are scoreless after one period of play here at PPG Paints Arena. Brian Metzer here with you.
And a pretty nondescript period of play. However, not for Artie Shilos. He was pretty busy. He had to make 10 saves on shots that were put on goal by the Washington Capitals. Alex Ovechkin had a nice opportunity at 16:59. Right off a face-off, he put the shot to the goal, but Artie was on top of it and was able to smother it and keep them off the board. He had 3 shots, 4 attempts in that period of play, for those keeping track at home of what Alex Ovechkin is doing. Unfortunately, he doesn't get to go up against Sidney Crosby or Evgeny Malkin because a number of Penguins were held out of this game today. We assume for load management, rest reasons, but a lot of folks I saw online kind of lamenting the fact that they wouldn't see Alex Ovechkin and these two go head-to-head for potentially the final time here in Pittsburgh. But overall, still a great opportunity to see the NHL's all-time leading goal scorer in front of you, and there's a lot of people here, a lot of Caps fans in the building as well. When you look up and down, the Penguins did register just 1 shot on goal. It came from none other, and you'll be shocked to hear it, Igor Chinakhov. We all know he is a sniper for this team. He's put up a number of shots on goal, game in and game out, scores a lot, and that's why it wasn't a shock to me to see him get the only Penguin shot. They did have 11 shots that were either wide or blocked, so it wasn't for lack of trying in terms of the shot attempts, but you do want to get a little bit more towards the goal and also do a little better job in the face-off, just 29% for them there. When we come back, a conversation with Josh Yohe from The Athletic, his final time of the regular season. You'll hear him next on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Ford F-Series are the best-selling trucks in Pittsburgh for 11 years running. So it's no wonder that Pittsburgh's favorite hockey team choose Ford as their go-to vehicles. Yep, that's right. Your favorite team meets our favorite team. That's a stacked roster if you ask us. Ford, the official car, truck, and SUV of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Only from your neighborhood Ford store.
This is Labatt, brewed for the hockey fans who yell, "Shoot it" from the cheap seats, and scream, "Ref, you suck," like it ever worked. You pound on the glass, spill your beer, and still act like you're running the power play. But hockey wouldn't be hockey without fans like you and a Labatt in hand. Labatt, we're brewed for the roast. Enjoy responsibly. Labatt USA, Buffalo, New York.
Go to the Hangar for $4.25 20-ounce Labatt Blue Drafts during all Pens games.
Tired of the cold and shoveling snow? Same. This year, make an easy escape from winter by switching to S&T Bank. With online and mobile banking, you are always in control. Set savings goals, track your budget, and transfer funds faster than you can save. Pina colada, please. With convenient locations and ATMs, we'll make planning your next tropical trip a breeze. Stop by your local S&T branch. Visit stbank.com or call 800-325-2265. Banking made easy so you can spend more time in the sun. S&T Bank, member FDIC.
Pittsburgh-based EQT Corporation is the top natural gas producer in the United States and is a proud sponsor of the Pittsburgh Penguins' pathway to net zero. EQT is an industry leader in cutting emissions and using our region's clean resources to replace dirtier sources of energy overseas. EQT and the Penguins are focused on achieving key climate goals and reducing emissions across Pittsburgh and beyond. Visit EQT.com to learn more about how EQT is moving towards the future and setting the standard for production of affordable, reliable, and clean energy.
The Pittsburgh Penguins are brought to you by our founding partners, Coca-Cola and the new Coke Zero, founding partner of the Penguins. Now, back to the Penguins Live Intermission Report with Brian Metzer.
Penguins and Caps scoreless after 1 period of play at PPG Paints Arena. Brian Metzer here with you, and now joined for the final time of the regular season by Josh Yohe from The Athletic. Mr. Yohe, the dream of a Penguins-Capitals first-round series stays alive with the Islanders losing to the Senators. We were just looking at the highlights. Not sure that it's going to end up happening, but it's fun to dream, right?
It is, and if the Penguins don't want to play any of their best players tonight or tomorrow, there might be a real chance of a Penguins-Capitals series in the first round. The Caps aren't dead yet.
No.
That Islanders loss in regulation is a really big deal for, frankly, the Flyers, Blue Jackets, and the Capitals.
Yeah, this race is probably going to go down to the final nights of the season for all these teams, but It's been a lot of fun. And how big is it for this group to be able to not have to worry about it, just kind of lick their wounds, give guys a little bit of rest, and kind of just play out the slate?
Yeah, Mets, I think it's a really big deal. I mean, really, the only regulars right now who are injured are Blake Lizotte and Connor Dewar, right? And there's a chance those guys could be ready. Lizotte maybe for game one next weekend. doers week to week, so that might be a little less likely. But everyone else is at least healthy enough to play. And the fact that you can get those guys all kinds of rest over the next 10 days, I can't emphasize enough how important of a thing that is, especially Sid, Gino. These guys have been banged up. They're almost 40 years old. You get them some time off right now. It's
key.
A big, big deal.
Were you surprised at the number of people that were rested for this game today?
A little bit. Not shocked.
Yeah.
But I think considering the occasion of the weekend with a certain number 8 in the other lineup, like you do wonder, and especially about tomorrow.
I was going to ask you about that. Do you think that feasibly being the actual last matchup, maybe potentially between Sid, Ovi, Gino as well, maybe does that make those guys maybe see about playing just that one and then take off Tuesday night?
I have to think so.
Yeah, but you never know though.
Listen, the Penguins are going to prioritize the playoffs and being healthy for the playoffs as they should. That's the number one thing. But I think, and I don't want to speak for Sid, but if you're Sidney Crosby and if you think that might be Ovi's last game tomorrow, boy, it's hard not to take part in that one for him, I would have to think. I have to think he would tell Dan Muse, like, if you want me to go, I can go.
Well, and Josh, we've talked so much this season about the remarkable turn of events with the Pittsburgh Penguins, what they've been able to pull off. Obviously, preseason, a lot of people had written them off. Well, look at them now. They're in the playoffs. Just a thought on what we've watched or witnessed happen here with this group.
Oh, boy. Mets, I've covered this team for 17 years. I'm an old man, and I'll tell you what. This is maybe the most impressive regular season I have witnessed. Given the expectations, given the ages of the best players on this team, given the fact that you have a teenager on the team, it didn't feel like it was going to be a 100-point team or whatever they finished with. But I don't think there's anything fluky about the Mets. I think they
are who they are, right?
It's a really, really good hockey team, and all they do is score goals. Third most goals in the National Hockey League, and 1 week from today, maybe. 1 week from this weekend, man, is this place, the atmosphere, I cannot wait. It's been 4 years since playoff hockey's been in this city. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be fun for us all to get back to covering a playoff game. And Josh, we have about 30 seconds, but, how big an influence, we got to give him credit, Dan Muse, on what you just said happened.
Kyle Dubas made a ton of great decisions and pickups over the summer. He did everything right. The single biggest thing he did was identifying Dan Muse. You're around this guy for 5 minutes, it's like, yeah, this guy's got it. The young players love him, and the big boys love him, and they play hard for him. He is some kind of a story. He's a great coach.
Yeah, I completely agree. I was impressed to hear him say preseason in his presser about how he was an educator and he would work to make himself kind of have a relationship one-on-one with every guy and get the best out of that person. And how do you make that person succeed?
And he's just a genuinely nice human being.
Yeah.
And they play hard for him, I think partially because they like him.
Yeah.
There's something to be said for that.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with you there. Josh, thanks for all the help this season, and maybe we'll get a time or two in the playoffs.
Happy playoff season, Mets. I can't wait.
All right, that is Josh Yohe. Go check out all his stuff over at The Athletic after this one. When we come back, news from around the league on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Take a break and come out with us tonight.
Not tonight, man.
Come on. You deserve a night out. You're going to miss out.
Miss out on what?
While you stayed home, they won big. They celebrated. They got the suite, stayed up all night, and made memories. And you weren't there. Some nights are too good to sit out. Rivers Casino. Don't miss the moment.
NHL fans, give yourself some great looks this season and get Pittsburgh Penguins tickets at Ticketmaster. As the official ticket marketplace of the Penguins and the NHL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game, so you can catch all the action live all season long. If your plans change, you can sell or transfer your tickets, and mobile tickets make it easy to get into the arena in time for puck drop. With Ticketmaster, you'll ensure that when they shoot, you'll score. Get tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Penguins.
As the largest and most experienced program in the region, UPMC Sports Medicine knows that injuries can happen to anyone, whether you're a weekend athlete, a rising star, or even a seasoned pro. That's why we offer a complete range of services and experts to help treat and prevent sports-related injuries to get you back in the game. To make an appointment, visit upmcsportsmedicine.com. The UPMC is the official healthcare provider of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
On the ice, playing smart can sound like this. And in the grocery store, shopping smart will sound like this. At Shop and Save, you can have a game-winning meal plan with essential everyday Culinary Circle and Stone Ridge Creamery products. Stock up on our store brands and rack up your pump perks to redeem at 140 participating Sunoco locations. Shop, save, enjoy life.
The Pittsburgh Penguins are brought to you by our founding partners, Rivers Casino, Pittsburgh's entertainment destination. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Now, back to the Penguins Live Intermission Report with Brian Metzer.
The Penguins and Caps are scoreless after one period of play here in Pittsburgh. Brian Metzer back here with you on the regular season finale on home ice here at PPG Paints Arena. Looking around the league, the Boston Bruins had a chance to clinch their playoff berth today, and one of the things they needed to have happen was if the New Jersey Devils would defeat the Detroit Red Wings in regulation at 5 p.m. and either of these scenarios I'm going to mention would happen, which one did. The Ottawa Senators defeat the New York Islanders in regulation today 3-0. So now the Bruins will be watching to see if the Devils can pull off a win over the Red Wings, and that would punch their ticket. So it's been to be, you heard me talking with Josh Yohe a minute ago, just a crazy grind down the stretch with all of the different scenarios for the playoff berths and who's going to get in, who's going to clinch, and the Metropolitan Division really is going to be the one to watch, at least in the Eastern Conference, with all of the Flyers, Islanders, Blue Jackets, and yes, these Washington Capitals still being in the mix if things break the right way for any one of them. When we come back here in Pittsburgh, Joe Brandt and the old 2-9er Phil Bourque are going to have second period action for you, and you'll hear it all next on the Penguins Radio Network presented by S&T Bank.
'Cause I'm in New York.
I'm Billy Joel. Back again for a limited engagement because you asked for it.
Celebrating the 50th anniversary of Billy's Turnstiles album with exclusive specials. Plus, new shows with special guest hosts.
Hey, I'm Pat Monahan from the band Train.
This is Gavin DeGraw. Hey, I'm Matt Nathanson on the Billy Joel channel.
Channel 105 and on the Sirius XM app. Just search Billy Joel.
2-on-1. It's coming down to the wire.
Out and across the lightning line, right circle Theodore. Theodore is checked by Hagel. 2-on-1 the other way.
Where every point can make or break a team's dream.
For Kucherov. Score! Kucherov!
The push to the playoffs.
The push to the playoffs.
Nathan McKinney's got some room. He scores!
Only one team can bring home the cup.
The Florida Panthers are back-to-back Stanley Cup champions.
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91. The Power Play with Steve Koulias.
Of all the players who were drafted in 2019, which player has scored the most goals in the fewest games? Cole Caulfield. Size does matter. You don't want a team of 5'9" defensemen. But scoring goals is the hardest thing to do in sports. And Cole Caulfield scores a lot of goals.
The Power Play with Steve Koulias. Weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. MLS, NWSL, the USL, and more covering the beautiful game here at home. American soccer lives on Sirius XM FC 157.
The perfect fit.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
The latest news of the night.
Svechnikov and now Hamilton. Back for Andre. He's in for a shot. He scores!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
About to begin the second period here in Pittsburgh. The Penguins and Capitals are still scoreless. Washington getting an extra shot on goal during that intermission, so they're out shooting the Penguins 10-1. But our partner, the old 2-9er, mentioned before the end of the first, not a very outmatched opening 20 minutes. The Penguins had a few opportunities, just not a lot of them finding right on net of Logan Thompson.
What, did Ovi shoot one from the locker room and they give him another one there?
Yeah, sure, why not?
I don't know.
It's a grade 8, do whatever.
I know. No, I mentioned I like the Penguins first period. And I know you look up at the scoreboard, you see 10-1 shots. It just didn't feel like that. But with that being said, Arthur Sheelovs looked really, really good. There were some quality chances that Washington had in that first period, and Sheelovs was was aggressive, not overly aggressive. His positioning was good. His rebound control was good. I really liked number 37's first 20 minutes of play.
This just feels like one of those games you want to see your goaltender doing those types of things right. Because again, so many typical players out of the lineup for the Penguins right now. We've talked about it when it's been a blowout maybe in other games. For the goaltender to still be able to do their job as the game goes along, this kind of feels like one of those categories. Again, the Washington Capitals are fighting for their playoff lives. Not so much the same for the Penguins, but Artur Shilovs is trying to stay in game mode, game ready each and every night. And right now he's showing it. Second period's underway. Opening face-off to begin. It's brought to you by number 1 Cochrane Club One Rewards. Penguins now attacking from right to left in their home black and gold sweaters. Washington Capitals attacking from left to right in their road whites. Game 2 of this 3-game season series. It'll wrap up tomorrow afternoon in D.C. First and only visit to our nation's capital for the Penguins this regular season. That won't happen next year, though. 2 games added on to the NHL schedule, so you will play your division team 4 times, every division team. As Igor Chinikov steals the puck away, takes it into the Capital zone. Far circle, couldn't get a pass off to Ville Koivunen, and Beauvillier got in the way. Now St. Ivany in the slot. Couldn't finish off the shot as Trevor Van Riemsdyk stopped it. Now Chinikov a shot, and that's sticked away by Thompson. Penguins still with it in the Capital zone. St. Ivany near circle, cutting through. He fires, and that got fought off by Thompson. The far half wall, down to the corner. It's taken away by Washington. Van Riemsdyk over the neutral zone, chips it down to the Penguins end near corner. Jack St. Ivany plays it off the end boards, works it over to the far side. Sprung it ahead, looking for Chinikov. Now it's taken by Protas. Protas will send it down to the corner. Wraparound try by Ilya Protas, and then a backdoor find to Alexei Protas. The Protas brothers connect, and they find the first goal of the game. It's 1-0 Washington, a minute and a half into the second period.
Well, I have a feeling that that's going to be said a few more times over the next few years. Protas to Protas. And you're right, this was not intended for little brother. It was intended for Tom Wilson. And there's a generous bounce that goes to big brother Alexei, who's able to pump it in over a sprawled out Artur Shilovs. And how about that line there? Alexei 6'6", 250, Ilya 6'6", 225, and then the shrimp on the line, Tom Wilson 6'4", 225. They connect to make it 1-0 Washington.
The second career point for Ilya Protas. His second assist. He's looking for his first NHL goal. This is his second career game. This will be icing by the Capitals. But a primary assist for his older brother, Alexei Protas, who picks up his 25th goal of the season.
Yeah, I didn't love that defensive zone coverage there. And net front coverage by Sam Girard. As that pass from Ilya, again, intended for Tom Wilson, went right under the stick of Sam Girard. So he's there, but he's not there, if you know what I mean. That's a little stronger on the stick, and you intercept that pass, and you're out of danger.
Well, Girard got it to Novak. Penguins in the Capitals zone. Mantha above the near circle. Wrister, they score! Anthony Mantha rips a wrister from above the near circle. He's got his 32nd goal of the season, and he ties this game back up at 1 quickly after Washington struck first.
Well, how about that response? You go down 1-0, you're being outshot 11-1. Bingo, bango, bongo. Good puck movement by the Penguins to get it to Anthony Mantha. And it looked like there was a flyby screen right in front of Thompson. And I love that decision by Mantha. He didn't really hesitate. He got the puck, came down the left wing with all the screens in front. It's a flick of the wrist. He gets a lot on it. He knew he had to get something on it to beat Thompson. He couldn't just flick it at the net. But with a couple of flyby screens kind of distracting or taking the eyeballs away from Thompson for a second, that zipper of a wrist shot by Anthony Mantha finds the back of the net, and just like that, it's 1-1.
6 goals in Anthony Mantha's last 7 games. And he adds to his new career high.
I'm just watching one reverse angle. That might have hit Chychrun on the way in. And that's why Thompson really looked fooled on that one.
Just the third shot on goal for the Penguins in this game. Now Nola Chari brings it into the Capital zone. Soderblom tried to corral it back but couldn't. It goes over to the far corner and then he crunches one of the Capitals into the boards. It was Ilya Protas as Washington takes it the other way, cutting through to the high slot. Now Protas has it. He rips one in a glove, saved by Artur Shilovs at the top right part of his crease. Another big save for the Penguins goaltender to keep this one tied up at 1.
Ilya Protas just kind of disappeared down below us. And then just when he felt like instincts right there for Protas, as he felt like there was going to be a broken play, and there was in the high slot, and he quickly went from the backhand to the forehand. And again, Artur Shilovs out in the top of his crease, no traffic in front of him, so he tracked it perfectly and made a beautiful left-hand glove save to rob Ilya Protas and keep it 1-1.
Capitals win the draw, send it deep down to the near corner. We've got 3 minutes gone in this second period, a 1-1 tie. They play it out to Faravari above the far circle. He pumped one that got steered wide due to traffic. Now McGroarty finds it to Kevin Hayes, to Connor Clifton over the Capitals line. Chips it in behind the net. As Hayes works it over to the near wall. Now up to the point as he slings it back down, but it's quickly taken away by Justin Sordiff. He'll hustle it over the Penguin line, near side. Pitched it up to the point as the centering pass got taken away by Kevin Hayes. Now tumbling along the near wall over to Avery Hayes. Accelerates through the neutral zone with this line at the far half wall. Pitched into the boards by Faravari. Far corner, McGroarty digs after it. He gets taken down to the ice. Nothing called as they're still sawing after the puck in the far corner. It gets poked out along the end boards and then scooped up by Brandon Duhaime in the near side. Penguins will get a change here. 4 minutes gone in this second, tied up at 1. Washington into the Penguin zone near side, shot fired and a blocker save from Artur Shilovs on the attempt from Rasmus Sandin. Here's Van Riemsdyk over the McDonald's logo, chips it down to the near corner, it rolls in behind Shilovs' net, picked up by Sam Girard. He'll take his time as he kicks it up ahead to Connor Clifton. Now a stretch pass looking for Koivunen. It missed him, went right on net. Thompson with the save as it's played out to the neutral zone. Koivunen comes racing after it at center ice. Played it over to Raquel, who will sling it past to Koivunen. Now Chinikov over the Capitals line, whiffed on a wrister. Trying to keep the puck on hold over at the far corner, but Washington able to break it back the other way. Jack St. Ivany tied up with one of the Capitals, brought him down to the ice right in front of Washington's bench. And that was Anthony Beauvillier. Now Girard over the Capitals line, far side, swept it to Koivunen, who played it off the boards. Back to Girard at the point, cutting through, far circle, dipped it back to Koivunen in the high slot. Send a short pass to Chinikov as he bullets down in behind the net, passed it to himself off the end boards, now curled around the circle, St. Ivany towards the slot, left it for Girard. Girard in the circle, near side, down to the corner, at the goal line, spins on a dime around Dylan Strome, and then went for a cross-ice pass to Raquel as he just whiffed on the attempt. Capitals work it out to the neutral zone.
What a weave that was. The Penguins are just almost like the Harlem Globetrotters, moving that puck around. Everything was really on the perimeter and out by the center point, but really good puck movement and overall movement by the Penguins there.
They're right back in the Capital zone now as Graves from the near corner flips it downstairs, but it's quickly stolen away by Washington. They play it up the near wall, out to the Penguin zone it goes. Ilya Solovyov races it down and kept it away from Connor McMichael. Rink wide pass to Ryan Graves. He races it over the Caps line, far side, down to the corner, got tied up. Poked it away from Jacob Chychrun, but now it's taken by McMichael. Here comes Pierre-Luc Dubois over the Penguin line at the circle, tied up by Anthony Mantha, centering pass. And Ryan Leonard says that he scored right now as he tried to poke one past Artur Shilovs. Where's the puck?
Where is the puck?
I think Artur Shilovs has it in his glove.
He does. He's juggling it. I think both of us were watching Pierre-Luc Dubois just free fall into the end wall after getting tied up with Anthony Mantha. I'm sure you're going to take a look at this one here. Leonard celebrated like he had scored, but Shilovs acted like he's got it.
And the horn just went off, so they are going to take a look at it. We're going to go to a break. It could be a 2-1 lead when we come back. 13:58 to go in this second. We're tied at 1. here on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Spotting the perfect fit is kind of your thing. So when it comes to finding a used car, start your search at FordBlueAdvantage.com and find the perfect certified pre-owned vehicle at your local Ford dealer. One that comes with serious perks, like a thorough inspection, a Ford-backed warranty, even a Carfax report. Because you know what they say, the best finds are the ones that feel made for you. Ford Blue Advantage. Used car buying that's built for you. Available at participating dealers only. See your dealer for details and limitations.
2026-27 Penguin season tickets are on sale now, and you have to be here. Purchase a full or half-season package today to guarantee priority access to 2026 Stanley Cup playoff tickets. These Penguins have flipped the script on expectations for this season.
Finds Crosby, Panthers zone, he scores!
Act now to make sure you're here to witness them write the next chapter of their storied history. Visit PittsburghPenguins.com to secure your season membership today.
At UPMC Hillman Cancer Center, we believe cancer care shouldn't just be good enough. It should be life-changing. As the region's only National Cancer Institute designated comprehensive cancer center, we provide groundbreaking treatments and innovative clinical trials with renowned cancer specialists and a compassionate support system for patients and their families. Discover more at upmchillman.com/lifechanging.
Well, at the moment, it's still a 1-1 hockey game. 13:58 to go in this second period. Again, right before we went to break, Ryan Leonard had started to celebrate like he scored a goal. Here's a call from the official.
After a video review, it's determined that the puck fully crossed the line, therefore we have a goal.
So it is a 2-1 lead for the Washington Capitals. The goal by Ryan Leonard right before the break.
I'll tell you, what a pass by Pierre-Luc Dubois. As I didn't feel there was no penalty coming up on the play, but there's an overhead view of the puck. It's a great save by Shelos, but I think his momentum, as he's not only moving from right to left, but right to left and back. And I think that glove hand does cross the goal line. But here's the thing, Joe. Artur Shelos' pad is right on the red goal line. So unless there's a different camera angle that we didn't get to see right there, you can't assume. You go, well, it sure looks like it's... No, unless you can have a still shot of that puck, the black puck over the red goal line. Obviously, they had that angle. It's 2-1, Washington.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little surprised that it is officially a good goal, because the shot by Leonard goes right into Shelov's glove, and it almost looks like the puck makes contact with the glove before the puck theoretically goes over the goal line. And I think it's hard to have conclusive evidence that it was indeed over the goal line, but no challenge for the Penguins, nothing.
Yeah, but like I said, we got a couple looks here. They probably got 5 or 6 other looks in Toronto that we didn't get a chance to look at, because, yeah, it'd have to be, you can't just assume. You can't just say, yeah, it sure does look like. No, it has to be clear cut where you can take a still photo and show it to Kyle Dubas and say, yep, here it is. We got an icing here against the Penguins. Here it is. Black puck, white ice, red goal line, the separation, here's your goal.
Well, that's apparently what happened, because it's a 2-1 lead for Washington right now. 13 minutes to go in the second period. Well, the last time the Capitals scored, the Penguins answered quickly. Anthony Mantha scored just 24 seconds after Alexei Protas had the first goal of the game. Now a centering pass over to Ovechkin, trying to go backdoor, but it went wide of the cage.
That was a one-timer from 12 feet away and went off the heel of Ovechkin. You don't see him shank that one-timer very often.
Beauvillier flings a wrister. That's wide of the net. Capitals back with it in the Penguins zone. A 2-1 lead for Washington. Strome near circle, looking for Ovechkin again. He's got it. Far circle. Wrist one. Saved by Shelovs. And then he brings home the rebound to his crease to keep it frozen, and a 2-1 lead for Washington with 12:36 to go in the second period.
And not that there's a great chance for Washington to make the playoffs, but with the Islanders losing to the Senators here this afternoon, I went to Puck Money. Is that what it's called, Puck Money?
I think so, yes.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure it's Puck Money. They give the odds. What are the odds? Like, how do you figure? Anyways, Washington went from 7%.
Moneypuck.com.
Moneypuck, thank you. I was so close. That's such a dad thing. that the Washington Capitals, with the Islanders losing, went from 7% to 11% chance of making the playoffs.
So you're saying there's a chance. That's what Washington's hoping for, at least. And they'll host the Penguins tomorrow and then wrap up their season on the road in Columbus. And the Blue Jackets playoff lives on life support as well. Here's the centering pass that goes off the skate of Jack St. Ivany. They'll work it along the near boards that Rucker McGroarty tries to work out of the Penguin zone. 12 minutes to go in this second. It's 2-1 Washington. St. Ivany collects near corner. Got it up to Protas. He'll play it up to Van Riemsdyk at the point. Can't get around Jack St. Ivany, but now Ilya Protas gets it to Alexei. Near circle, back to Ilya in the crease. Backhand, forehand, they score. It's Tom Wilson at the top of the crease, who bats home an Artur Shilov save. He was swimming at the top of his blue paint as Ilya Protas came in dancing with the puck. And Tom Wilson picks up goal number 30 on the season. It's 3-1 Washington.
Well, this all started with a turnover by Sam Girard. Then you had a turnover by Rutger McGroarty. Then you had another turnover by Jack St. Ivany. Then you had Rutger McGroarty lose a puck battle. And then all HE double hockey sticks breaks out. And that is one tough shift for Jack St. Ivany and Sam Girard. Boy, they were really fighting it there. It didn't help them at all. We got a puck come into Shilov. He'll cover up. A little pushing and shoving. But it certainly didn't help that Rutger McGroarty couldn't get the puck out. And then you got those three behemoths, the two Protas boys, and Tom Wilson. And Sam Girard is down on all fours as he gets kind of just shoved by Tom Wilson. He falls down. Wilson has a wide open net to pump it in to make it 3-1.
Wilson now scoring 30 goals in back-to-back seasons. And a career high 33 last year. A lot of Washington Capitals had career highs last season as Spencer Carberry was named the Jack Adams award winner of that year, and the Capitals went to the postseason. Here's Chinakhov now in the Capital zone, far corner. Got it to Raquel in the circle. He got tied up before the goal line, but plays it up to the far point for Ilya Solovyov. Graves, high slot. Rister just fought off by the stick of Logan Thompson. Played in behind the net for Ville Koivunen. Up to Solovyov. Far half wall, down to the corner. Centering past Chinakhov. Dancing at the circle. Had some trouble bringing the puck with him as Washington steals it away on the stick of Cole Hudson. Out to the neutral zone it goes, but Ryan Graves taps it back the other way. 11 minutes to go in the second period. It's 3-1 Washington now. All four goals of this game scored in the second period. Penguins fans just being notified that Tom Wilson scored that goal.
Lots of love here in Pittsburgh for the guy they call Willie.
Penguins re-rack in their own zone. Under 11 to go in the second period. Played ahead to Justin Brazeau. He helped angle it down to the Capitals' end near corner. Worked up along the boards on the near side. Duhaime drags it out to the neutral zone. It's taken by a speeding Justin Sordiff. Over the Penguins line now in the slot. Whiffed on a shot. Second attempt goes high and wide. Far corner, the puck rolls over two. The Protas-Wilson line out there again. Sandin near point. Sends it off the end boards. Ilya Protas gets it over. Far circle. Shot fired. Saved by Shilovs. Rebound kicked over to the near corner. Played out by Ryan Shea to the neutral zone, but Faravari races it down. He'll slow down right before the Penguins' blue line. Chip it right on net that Shilovs kicks over in behind his cage. And now played over to Ilya Protas on the near side. Penguins work it out. It's Tommy Novak over the Capitals line. Slings it around the boards down to the far corner. Chychrun raced too far past the puck as Ilya Protas coughed it up to the neutral zone for Sam Girard. And he coughed it up to Tom Wilson. Now Soderblom sweeps it to St. Ivany. Girard up the near side of the neutral zone. It gets fluttered up into the air and out of play. 9:26 to go in the second period. The Penguins now down by 2. It's 3-1 Washington. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
It's WrestleMania week, and SiriusXM Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7 is getting you ready for the Squared Circle's biggest event.
WrestleMania is the Super Bowl of pro wrestling.
Hear in-depth breakdowns of the matches.
CM Punk versus Roman Reigns, the biggest clash in years.
Join the daily conversation.
There were things that Pat McAfee said in the ring on Friday night that I was completely shocked that he said.
It's WrestleMania week on Pro Wrestling Nation 24/7, channel 156 in the car and on the SiriusXM app. It's almost here. The Stanley Cup playoffs are coming. Big hits.
What a hit!
Big goals.
Harley shot. He scores!
Big saves.
That might be one of the top 10 saves of the season.
Get every unforgettable moment from puck drop to the final horn. Hear it your way with home and away calls. The Stanley Cup playoffs.
McDavid scores!
Live on NHL Network Radio, channel 91 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
Hey, Jim Rome here. What's cracking?
Hi.
Hope you're enjoying the game, and when you're not taking in a game, find us on Sirius Channel 161, XM Channel 206. In fact, we'll be there every weekday afternoon, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. If you've got something you want to break down from this game, you know where to find us. Just make sure you have it taken, don't suck.
Step your game up.
That has never changed. In fact, the show has never changed. We're just back home, and it's great to be there. Sirius 161, XM 206. See you there.
After no goals through the first 20 minutes, we've now seen 4 scored in the nearly 11 here in the second period. It's 3-1 Washington, though. 9:26 to go in the second period. Shots on goal in favor of the Capitals, 19-4.
Well, if nothing else, I just want to see the Penguins do a much better job in front of Archer Shelovs. If that's, to me, that's the most glaring weakness right now. I get, no Sid, no Gino, no Rusty, no Ben Kindle, no Letang, no Carlson, no Wotherspoon. I get all that, but still, there's a good enough lineup out there to battle a lot harder and insulate their goaltender a lot better than they have so far.
Quick shot from Dylan Strome in the far circle. A toe save from Artur Shelovs. Penguins bring it down the other way. Kevin Hayes rims it along the boards to Avery Hayes. Near corner, no relation. Played up to the far half wall. Kevin Hayes sweeps it deep. Avery Hayes races it down. Gets it at the corner up to Girard near point. D to St. Ivany. Wrister coming, and it didn't get through. It's loose in front of the crease, and it through the legs of Rucker McGroarty, who tried to catch a pass from Kevin Hayes, but it just went too quick. Over to the near side, Dylan Strome taken down to the ice by Girard. Kevin Hayes comes away with the puck to St. Ivany, to Avery Hayes, who chips it down to the Capitals' end near corner. In behind the net, a hard check from Avery Hayes right on Cole Hudson into the end boards. Washington takes it, dumps it all the way down to the Penguins' end. This will be icing by the Capitals. 8:21 to go in the second. It's 3-1 Washington.
Well, building the future takes grit, and no one does grit like Pittsburgh. EQT is ready to unleash the build and power America's next big win. EQT, unleashing America's energy future.
It's the old 2-9er Phil Bourque. I'm Joe Brand. We'll be in Washington tomorrow, St. Louis on Tuesday, and then the playoffs by the next weekend. Who the Penguins will be playing, we still have yet to find out. It's really coming down to the wire here in the Eastern Conference. Of course, Western Conference too. Nobody in that Pacific Division has clinched a spot just yet. Girard got it to Soderblom, knocked it down, and they fight it home. Noel Acciari with another crashing towards the net effort. Finds the back of the net. Noel Acciari's got his 13th goal of the season, and the Penguins are back within one. It's 3-2.
If that's not a Noel Acciari goal, then I don't know what is. I think if you could, you know, they in golf, and here we are at the Masters, right? That when somebody wins a tournament, they have the combined length of their putts, right? You could do that for Noel Acciari's goals this year, and the distance away from the goal line. I don't know if you would total for all his goals, and Noel Acciari just can't stop scoring goals. Here he goes again, Nola Chari. What number is that for double nickels?
13.
13. I'm going to say, maybe 50 feet total out of those 13 goals?
How about 55 for double nickel? But there's Ryan Leonard scoring his second goal of the game. Washington comes right down the ice and answers after Nola Chari finds the score sheet. They just throw it towards the front of the net and ambush the front of Artur Shilovs. And Ryan Leonard has 2 goals today.
Well, we saw the Penguins after the first goal by the Washington Capitals to bounce right back with an Anthony Mantha goal. And the Washington Capitals return the favor here. And boy, was that quick. And the Penguins have numbers back. Man, they get just completely out to lunch in their defensive zone coverage. And then once again, Artur Shilovs makes the first save. But holy moly, boys. Give your goaltender some help here in front of the goal. The Penguins defensemen just reaching and waving their sticks in front of Artur Shilovs. And the Caps have their 2-goal lead back. Leonard just taps it in, basically an empty net goal. He only had to elevate it over the right path of Shilovs. That's it. But boy, oh boy, the Penguins got to be a lot better than that in front of their own goal.
So it's now 4-2 Washington. 7:43 to go in the second period. Penguins have a Capital zone. Mantha fires. That got deflected over to the far corner, and Washington will take it away. Capitals up ice, far side of the neutral zone, into the Penguins' end. St. Ivany stole it away but couldn't clear it. It's taken by Hudson, and behind Shilovs' net. Turnaround shot, pad save Shilovs. As Novak handles the rebound, got it to Mantha up to the neutral zone. He poked it, but only right up to Dylan Strome. Washington dumps it back into the Penguins' end. St. Ivany pulls it away. He and Gerard play catch into the Penguins' end. We've got 7 minutes to go in the second period. It's 4-2 Washington. St. Ivany slings it down to the Capital zone. Third multi-goal game for Ryan Leonard, who's looking for his first hat trick in his second year of his NHL career.
Shots are 23-6 Washington.
Penguins were outshot 10-1 in the first and then 13-5 in the second. As Connor Clifton collects a dump in from Washington, played it up the far boards. Ville Koivunen muscled out by Martin Ferivari, but the Penguins still take the puck away. Ryan Shea ahead to Igor Chinikov. It goes angled off the far glass down in behind the Washington net. Played out towards the front of the slot. It's loose. Knocked down by Ferravari's upper body, and the Washington Capitals take it the other way. McMichael over the Penguin line. Far circle tied up by Connor Clifton. Puck is poked along the boards, swept up and slowed down by the official. Igor Chinikov will get it to Koivunen. He'll skate it over the Penguin logo and backhand fork it down to the far corner of the Capital zone. 6 minutes to go here in the second. Penguins trailing Washington 4-2 and being outshot 23-6. Final home game of the regular season for the Penguins. They will be in D.C. tomorrow afternoon. Here's another shot towards the net, and a shot on net that Shilov stopped, but we get a hand pass to stop the action with 5:43 to go in the second period. Washington back up by 2. It's 4-2 Caps here on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
What is life-changing medicine? Is it returning to the playing field or your favorite hiking path after an injury? Or running with your grandkids after a joint replacement? At UPMC, life-changing medicine is all those things. Through innovative research, rehabilitation, and advanced surgical procedures, our experts get you back to what you love doing. UPMC, changing healthcare, changing lives. Life-changing medicine.
This Pittsburgh Penguins moment is brought to you by the officers, members, and families of Local Union Number 5 of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. Our members have lived and worked in the region since 1897, providing all of the electrical and telecommunications needs of commercial, industrial, and residential customers. We offer a state-of-the-art training center that is second to none and internationally recognized. Local Union Number 5 of the IBW will be here to stand by you for all of your electrical installation needs today and well into the future. Our members show their hometown pride supporting the Pittsburgh Penguins.
The Stanley Cup Playoffs Bracket Challenge presented by Expedia is back.
Come on, boys.
And now it's time to take your shot. Face off against family and friends. And see if you can predict this year's playoffs. Can you pick the perfect bracket and claim the ultimate prize? A trip to a 2026-27 NHL event and an Adventure Chrono NHL Limited Edition watch by Norcane. Sign up today at nhl.com/bracket.
Well, we're not quite sure whether or not today will be the final game for Alex Ovechkin here in Pittsburgh, but the moment that's being taken place right now sure makes it feel like so. A little video montage coming out of the break, and Alex Ovechkin being recognized on the video board right now, and everybody on their feet. Black and gold, red, white, and blue, all throughout PPG Paints Arena. They're giving a round of applause to the Great Eight.
A little awkward. He didn't want it. He put his hand up. He appreciated it, but nobody really knows. Is this it? And I'm not saying today, but tomorrow's their last home game. You know, then they finish up Tuesday in Columbus. And just everybody. I mean, I talked to Kevin Weeks, who's here with ESPN doing the game. He interviewed Ovi before the game. We talked to John Walton, the radio play-by-play guy. He says, I just interviewed him also. You kind of think maybe, yeah, but you're just not sure. And by that reaction by Alexander Ovechkin, that kind of left you with a giant question mark.
Time will tell. And again, another game between these two teams tomorrow afternoon, which could possibly be Alex Ovechkin's final home game in D.C. So I'm sure the recognition there will be significant as well, as Kevin Hayes commits a penalty. And we're going to see our first power play of this game. 5:17 to go in the second. The Penguins will be shorthanded. They're down by 2.
Yeah, you don't see Kevin Hayes. Well, here's the
call. 13, 2-minute minor holding.
You don't see Kevin Hayes really react like this unless he felt something. And yeah, I know what you're talking about, Hazy. Ivan
Miroshnichenko.
Thank you. I wasn't even going to try it. Went down very, very easy. When a player falls forward like that, when he's being checked from behind, I think you could have called both, if you know what I mean.
Maybe he was just a little top heavy with all the letters at the top of his jersey.
By a vowel?
Ivan Miroshnichenko drawing the penalty from Kevin Hayes. 4-2 Washington with 5 minutes to go in the second period. They're on the man advantage now as Dylan Strome takes it into the Penguin zone. Puck gets kicked out to the neutral zone as Cole Hudson will chase it down in his own end. Well, the Penguins' PK has been warming up. 9 for their last 10 over the last 4 games. Sitting in 6th place in the NHL with their PK unit heading into this one. As Washington gets it down to the far corner. 1:14 to go on the Washington power play. Up along the wall, it's pulled out by Sordiff. Above the near circle, Dylan Strome to the high slot for Hudson. Now back over to Strome. Back to Hudson, high slot, wrister downstairs, Protas, a little give and go. Hudson gets it back. We've got Ovi waiting there in the far circle. He has yet to touch the puck on this power play as Hudson feeds it to Ilya Protas, near circle, back up top to Strome. Strome wrister got blocked by Achari. Ovechkin handles the rebound, plays it off the end boards, and Ryan Shea tried to dart it out of the zone. It may have clipped the official to stay in the Penguin zone.
It did, it hurt him. Carter Sandlak.
Here's Ovechkin, one-timer and a save by Artur Shilovs. Connor Clifton got the rebound, couldn't clear it out. Strome far point, takes it down the blue line, high slot. Shovel it over the near half wall for Sordiff. Got it back to Strome. He'll take it to the slot with 20 to go on the Capitals power play. Ovechkin over to Hudson in the slot. Wrister didn't get through. Loose puck to the near corner. Pulled out by Sordiff. Works it up the wall to Strome. 10 seconds to go on the Caps power play. Sordiff in behind the net to Strome near half wall to Protas in the slot to Ovi. One-timer saved by Shilovs. Rebound far corner. Shea can't get to it. Played out to the point. Out of the box is Kevin Hayes. He's got into the Capital zone. Near circle. Wrister scores! The veteran Kevin Hayes comes out of the box and snaps one past Logan Thompson. The Penguins get back within one. It's 4-3 Washington with 3:10 to go in the second.
His first in 11 games, his 185th career goal, and it's a rocket. Kevin Hayes comes out of the box, and I tell you, to get that big body, because he came out, he went to his right. The puck came to him, so he had to stop, go, and he took off down the left wing and got right at the dot. And Thompson was there. Thompson was outside his blue paint, but it is a missile by Kevin Hayes, short side, glove side. Remember, he catches with his right hand, does Logan Thompson. It is a missile that eludes that glove, hits the back of the twine. It's now 4-3 Caps.
Kevin Hayes playing in his first game in over a month, March 3rd in Boston, as he finds his 4th goal of the season. And who knows, maybe he's glad that that penalty was called now. Right spot, right time for number 13, but the Penguins still down by 1. It's 4-3 Washington, 2.5 to play in the second. Tommy Novak takes it up ice, and the Penguins in the Capital zone. Pass got kicked out to the neutral zone. Sam Girard will corral it down in the neutral zone. Novak to Mantha over the Capitals line at the point. Building coming alive here at PPG Paints Arena. Koivunen at the half wall with Girard at the point. Girard towards the high slot. Koivunen, far point. Downstairs, Mantha tried to knife it home, but it got deflected out of play with 2:12 to go in this second period. 4-3 Washington.
You got one from Kevin Hayes. You got one from Anthony Mantha. Now, you talk about opportunity, right? And whether you're Ville Koivunen, Rutger McGroarty, Avery Hayes, Joona Koppanen, Jack St. Ivany, Ryan Graves, Ilya Soloviev, you're all given an opportunity here to now score the next goal, the big goal, to make this thing 4-4 and really make it a hockey game. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, I know the big boys, Raquel and Chinakhov, and those guys can get you goals. Let's see somebody who hasn't scored in a while, that's not expected to score goals, to get you a big one right here.
Boy, partner, right when you said Raquel, Igor Chinakhov threw one to the front of the net, and there was Ricard Raquel almost sweeping one past Logan Thompson. The Penguins have found a little momentum here late in the second period. They're down by 1 as Ryan Shea got taken down to the ice by Ryan Leonard, who has 2 goals in this game. Ville Koivunen chips it down to the Capitals end. It's pulled out by Washington. Near side, Trevor Van Riemsdyk accelerates over the Penguins line. Near side, shovels it down to the corner. Solovyov pulls it off at the near side, played it up to McGroarty. He'll tap it back to the Penguins end.
And imagine Thompson doesn't even have a sweat down there. That's only 8 shots for the Penguins. 3 goals on 8 shots. Tough to really get into a game when you're almost 40 minutes into this game and he's only seen 8 shots. Look out.
McGroarty nearly stealing the puck away. Would have set up a 2-on-1 for the Penguins in the Capitals end, but Washington kicks it out. Penguins send it deep again as Matt Roy throws a hard check on Avery Hayes along the near wall. Final minute of this second period. It's 4-3 Washington. Tumbling puck to the neutral zone. McGroarty to Solovyov. Played it ahead. Well, the Penguins were in the middle of a line change, so Washington takes it away. Roy on the near side. Up ahead to Protas. Flips it over to Wilson. Near circle. Wilson in the corner. Off the end boards to the far wall. Ryan Graves collects. Shoveled it out to Brazeau in the neutral zone. Settled it down. Capital zone. Ahead for Tommy Novak. And a pad save by Logan Thompson. Kicked along the near wall with 30 to play in the second period. Shea keeps it alive near point. D to Clifton. Wrister down low. Directed wide by Tommy Novak. 20 to go in the period. Penguins down by 1. Washington up ice near side. Out of the reach of Dylan Strome as Clifton will kick it over to the far wall. This one goes out of play right into Washington's bench. 14.5 to play in the second period. Penguins are back within 1. It's 4-3 Washington.
This is a scrappy team. You mentioned they're missing pretty much 8 of their regulars. And they are right there with 9 shots on goal and just down by a goal against a very desperate Washington Capitals team with their full lineup.
10 saves for Artur Shilovs in both periods. There's a shot on net that Shilov stops. It's played by Ryan Shea on the near side. Worked up along the far wall, down to 5 seconds in the second period. Loose in the neutral zone, Duhaime will leave it be. And that'll do it for the second period. We saw no goals in the first. We saw 7 in the second. The Washington's got 4 of them. A 4-3 lead for the Caps. But you got to like the fight from the Penguins in this one. Kevin Hayes finding the back of the net for the first time since December. And he gets the Penguins back within one.
And I'm sure that got the bench jumping up and down. Kevin Hayes is extremely loved by this team, and to see him back in the lineup is great. And what a bonus to get a goal from the KG veteran. And it's going to be an interesting third period. Penguins got some juice now. They got the crowd into it. They got some juice. They got some hope. They got some belief. And they got some energy. Look out for this wild third period coming up.
And again, the Washington Capitals trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. Exciting 20 minutes on deck here from Pittsburgh. Brian Metzer just popped into the booth to let the second intermission report for us, along with the chat with the old 2-9er. It's all right here on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
As the largest and most experienced program in the region, UPMC Sports Medicine knows that injuries can happen to anyone, whether you're a weekend athlete, a rising star, or even a seasoned pro. That's why we offer a complete range of services and experts to help treat and prevent sports-related injuries to get you back in the game. To make an appointment, visit upmcsportsmedicine.com. The UPMC is the official healthcare provider of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Hey, hockey fans, the ice is heating up and the savings are too at Spitzer Auto World. Shop thousands of new vehicles at the Panda price. And here's the hat trick. Get a lifetime warranty at no charge. Whack more, spend less at Spitzer Auto World.
Our world revolves around you.
It takes real beer to quench real thirst, to give you real satisfaction. Iron City Beer is the perfect result of the skill and knowledge developed through 164 years in the business. Go on, grab one.
Keeping your home warm in the winter and cold in the summer, Mitsubishi Electric is a top manufacturer of heating and air conditioner products. And they're hiring. To elevate your career in engineering, project management, product assembly, and more, visit meppi.com/careers.
This is Phil Bork, the old 2-9er. Smith's is the official hot dog of the Pittsburgh Penguins and PPG Paints Arena, with recipes over 85 years old. Ask for Smith's hot dogs by name at Giant Eagle and other fine retailers. Smith's, it's a hot dog night in Pittsburgh. SmithsHotDogs.com.
Hey, Pens fans, Colby Armstrong here. As the official security partner of the Pittsburgh Penguins, the local team here at Vector Security is committed to protecting homes and businesses throughout southwestern PA. They are headquartered here. Their families eat, shop, and go to school and church in our communities. So they have a vested interest in keeping the homes and businesses of our neighbors safe and secure. Visit vectorsecurity.com/pens for a free security assessment that will address your unique needs. That's vectorsecurity.com/pens.
This is the Penguins Live Intermission Report.
And welcome into our second intermission report, where the Penguins trail the Caps 4-3 after 2 periods of play here at PPG Paints Arena. And it's amazing how many times we've seen these kinds of situations where a scoreless period leads to a 7-goal outburst between the two teams, and that's exactly what we got here. First, it was Alexei Protas scoring his 25th of the season from Wilson and his brother Ilya Protas. That came just 1:39 into the period. Then it was Anthony Mantha's turn to answer just a short time later. I believe it was 26 seconds, his 32nd of the year, from Ryan Shea and Tommy Novak. Ryan Leonard would get the Caps back on the board at 6:02 from Dubois and McMichael. And on this one, there was some review needed just to make sure that the puck crossed the line. Artie Shilos got his glove on it, but it did. The full glove was across. I'm not sure if I saw a full puck across, but they ended up giving him that one. Tom Wilson would put them up by a pair when he scored number 30 from both of the Protas brothers at 8:08. But then the Penguins answer once again. Noel Acciari gets his 13th of the season from Soderblom and Girard. Just a nice little chop down of a puck by Soderblom, too, right in front of the net to put it into an area for Acciari to be able to put that in at 11:47. Leonard will get goal number 2 of the period, his 20th of the season from Hudson and Sortive at 11:58. But Kevin Hayes goes to the box for a holding call at 14:43. His teammates bail him out, get the kill. He takes a pass from Ryan Shea as he comes out of the penalty box and takes it in to score the Penguins' 3rd goal at 16:50. So that's where we stand, 4-3 after 2. Penguins had Artie Shilos face 15 shots in the period to give up those 4 goals. They put 7 on the Capitals goaltender Logan Thompson, and they're being outshot for the game now 25-8. When we come back, a conversation with the old 2-Niner Phil Bourque, and you'll hear it next on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Morgan & Morgan.
Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Proud sponsor of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Office is Pittsburgh.
It used to be Ready, Set, Go.
And what is it now? Say it again.
Now it's Ready, Set, 4!
Wow, the blue oval. That's what it is. Hey, that worked. Teach me how to shoot.
It's not that hard.
Did you ever have a goal?
I actually had one hat trick.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Madison Square Garden.
So you, Phil Bourque, had a hat trick.
Yeah.
So that's 1, 2, 3.
Selection, savings, and best price guarantee.
Because that's who we are. It's who we are and what we do, Phil.
SchultzFord.com.
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 Yeehaw.
We believe cancer care shouldn't just be good enough. It should be life-changing. As the region's only National Cancer Institute designated comprehensive cancer center, we provide groundbreaking treatments and innovative clinical trials with renowned cancer specialists and a compassionate support system for patients and their families. Discover more at upmchillman.com/lifechanging.
What are two things the Pittsburgh Penguins have in common with Cleveland Brothers Equipment Company? Hard work and dedication. If you're looking for heavy equipment, need a specific part, or want expert service, talk to the industry leaders at Cleveland Brothers, your local CAT dealer. We provide solutions and products for construction, landscaping, oil and gas, electric and industrial power, highway, and more. Let us help you score the winning goal. Visit www.clevelandbrothers.com to learn more.
This is the Penguins Live Intermission Report.
Penguins trail the Caps 4-3 after 2 at PPG Paints Arena. Brian Metzer here with you in this finale on home ice, anyway, of this hockey season. And now joined by the old 2-Niner Phil Bourque. Borky, kind of a cool moment for Alex Ovechkin. I feel old when I see stuff like that because I feel like he and Sid and Gino even have all just burst into the league. They're constants here. But boy, it's the twilight years, are they not?
And you said the finale for the regular season.
Correct.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah. No.
I'm kidding. Yeah, that was, I don't know. I found it a little awkward.
Yeah.
I think if it was absolutely Ovi's last game, then he maybe would have come off the bench, stood up on the bench, but he just kind of stayed and he sat there and he kind of had that, eating grin on his face. You know, like, I don't know. I have no feel. I can't even guess. My gut tells me nothing on whether this is it for him or not. The last time maybe we ever see him playing here in Pittsburgh. I know we get him tomorrow in Washington. Then they finish up in Columbus. I mean, do you have a feel?
No.
Did that give you any kind of inkling? Did that tilt you one way or another, the response by him on the bench?
If you'd have asked me in the first half of the season, I'm like, he's probably done. This is his last year. But he ends up scoring 30 again.
Still got 30.
And he did. He scored 30 again, and a bulk of them came in the second half of the season. Right. He's playing his best hockey of the year, and it kind of makes you feel like, it's not easy for guys to ride off into the sunset. I mean, you've seen this how many times, and if you're still capable of doing it, and they would love to keep him, it's hard to hang him up.
He's 40.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really move too well.
No,
and he stands around a lot. He still has that shot.
Defensive zone stuff, Borky. He just took his first defensive zone start last week, I think, or 2 weeks ago.
He has the shot, but it's still not the shot.
Yeah.
There's some MPH that's come off of that shot, right? But still, you're right. I mean, even at whatever he's at, 70, 80% or whatever, he's still getting 30. It's incredible. I've said this before. The league needs guys with white hats, but they also need guys with black hats. And obviously Tom Wilson's a black hat. And here in Pittsburgh, always a black hat.
Yep.
Like, you need that, right? And at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we'll put down our weapons, we'll put down our hatred, and we'll just kind of tip our cap and go, wow, man, you are an unbelievable hockey player. The greatest goal scorer in the history of this game. I don't know which way it's going to go, if he's going to call it quits at the end of the season or not.
When does that happen in a rivalry, say, between players, Borky, where they get to a certain point where it is just, you could see the venom at one point between Sid and Ovi, and now it's almost like it's definitely a mutual respect society. I mean, maybe not when they're on the ice, but does it just, at a certain point, just change?
It does, and I think it has. I mean, I think now, both players have, they're closer to the finish than the middle, right?
Yeah.
And so, you start to reflect. You start to reflect on your moments, good and bad. You start to reflect on your greatest opponents. And I think that Sid and Ovi will say, and Joe and I were just talking about it, it's hard to name another one in this league that's a Sid Ovi. Can you think of another one?
No, not right now.
Right now.
We've been lucky to witness it.
Right, and that's why there was a level of disappointment. I get it. I completely get it. And not that they need my endorsement, but I think it was a great idea that if anybody right now is a little bit banged up, where they could use the day off, absolutely. Take the next whatever days off to get yourself ready for the most important part of the season coming, starting after Game 82. But with that being said, we still would love to see these two go at it, whatever it is, whatever hatred or competitive fire that burns within them. We still love seeing 87 and 8 on the ice together.
Well, there's a chance mathematically that they could meet again this season in a couple weeks here, so we'll see how that goes. But Borky, we'll be talking about it, I'm sure, if it does.
Talk to you tomorrow afternoon.
All right, my friend, that is the old 2-9er, and as he just said, we'll do it tomorrow as these boys head to Washington. When I come back, news from around the league on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Dear team, thanks for showing up for me with the best face paint and taunting the other team in the kindest way. For standing on your seat when I need the support and screaming until your throat hurts because you know it makes a difference. For wearing my number. For being the best teammates a player could ask for. At Highmark, we're proud to be cheering alongside the best teammates. Fans like you. Because life. Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Official health plan of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
As the official professional products partner of the Pittsburgh Penguins, Kimberly-Clark Professionals deliver trusted brands like Scott, Kleenex, and Wipe-All to deliver game-ready hygiene solutions that keep facilities clean, efficient, and prepared for action. Learn more at kcprofessional.com.
Some points? Join #1 Cochrane Club One Rewards and turn your vehicle into a scoring machine. You'll earn points with every dollar spent on service and can redeem points for dollars off a new vehicle or future service. Plus, save on gas and rental cars with our valuable partner perks. Score your free membership now at club1rewards.cochrane.com. #1 Cochrane, official auto group of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Hey, Pittsburgh fans, this is Phil Bourque. In hockey, big goals cause big momentum shift. As we all know, our Penguins have scored a lot of big goals over the years. As a founding partner of the Penguins, PPG also likes big goals and is pursuing them off the ice to better the Pittsburgh community and the world. Through their Colorful Communities program, they team up with community partners to protect and beautify neighborhoods globally. Since 2015, they've completed over 500 projects, including one I had the chance to be a part of right here in Pittsburgh. We like big goals because when we score them, we all win.
The Pittsburgh Penguins and Mitsubishi Electric have teamed up to transform the game day experience with a new state-of-the-art Diamond Vision video display system. See this display in action and find out why they are known as the makers of amazing by visiting MitsubishiElectric.com today.
This segment of the Penguins Live Intermission Report is brought to you by Smith's Hot Dogs, proud sponsor of the Penguins, and official hot dogs at PPG Paints Arena.
Penguins trail the Caps 4-3 after 2 periods of play. Brian Metzer here with you, and we're taking a look around the league at some news and notes. Pat Verbeek has signed a multi-year contract to remain the general manager of the Anaheim Ducks, and that's a big reward for him because he's done great work with that team. They're in the 3rd spot right now in the Pacific Division, 89 points. They haven't locked up a playoff spot just yet, but that's a team that's definitely on the come-up, and it's due in large part to a lot of the work that Pat Verbeek has done. So congrats to him on locking up some additional time there, and I'll be curious to see how they continue to build that hockey team. When you look around the league here for today, a lot of action to look forward to as we move through the schedule this afternoon and evening. The Oilers and Kings are right now playing. The Kings are up 1-0 in the second period of that one. The Oilers have about 13 different things that could happen to clinch a playoff spot for them. They currently lead that Pacific Division. The Red Wings and Devils are scoreless right now. That game is just starting, so if the Red Wings were to lose that game, that would help the Boston Bruins lock up their playoff spot. As we mentioned earlier, the Hurricanes in Mammoth are about to drop the puck at any moment now in Utah. And of course here, we have third period action coming your way in Pittsburgh. Joe Brand and the old 2-9er will bring that to you next on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
Every story, every angle, all in one place. From breaking news to in-depth reporting to the voices shaping the conversation, the SiriusXM news channels keep you informed. From national headlines to business news to international stories impacting the world. All your news in one place, including Fox News Channel, CNN, MS Now, Fox Business, CNBC, Fox News Headlines 24/7, and more. Beginning at Channel 112 and on the SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
What's the big difference been for the New York Islanders this season?
Matthew Schaefer. Here's Schaefer now passes Phil Housley for the most goals scored by an 18-year-old defenseman. The only other comparable I have right now, and I'm not saying he's going to have the Bobby Orr career, but he's got a great future ahead of him, is Bobby Orr to Matthew Schaefer.
NHL Morning Skate. Weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin. NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Feel the pulse-pounding drama of the UEFA Champions League knockout stage on Sirius XM FC. The stakes are raised as Europe's elite.
Real Madrid do what they do best. A 5-star show from Manchester City. What a start for Inter.
Battle in a quest for club soccer's ultimate prize.
This is the place where dreams come true.
This is where legends are made. The Champions League knockout stage on Sirius XM FC 157 and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
The biggest plays on the ice.
He's up ahead, Panzeroni to the net, backhand score! What a move!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Little back and forth in the second period, but the most of it being in favor of the Washington Capitals. They have a 4-3 lead over the Penguins through 2 periods. They're out shooting the Penguins 25-8, which means the Penguins have figured out Logan Thompson 3 times on 8 shots. Artur Shilovs has had a pretty solid game despite 4 goals allowed. Just a little bit of malfunction going on in front of him. That's allowed Washington to have a lead right now and never trail in this game.
No, you're right. Artur Shilovs has really battled in this game. He's made some big saves, and I just feel like the Penguins need to be better in front of him. Just a little pride, you know what I mean? Does it matter if they win or lose this game? And not really at the end of the day, Joe, but, you know, with this being the last regular season home game, shirts off their backs at the end of the game, fan appreciation, if you will. You would love to. It's the Caps. Come on, baby. It's the Caps. You want to empty the tank. And as I mentioned, I want to see Billy Koivunen. I want to see Rutger McGrory, Avery Hayes, Joona Koppanen. I want to see one of those guys get a big goal here to even the score at 4. Giddy up. Let's go.
We're underway here in the third period. Opening faceoff is brought to you by number 1 Cochrane Club One Rewards. Penguins now attacking from left to right in their home black and gold sweaters. Washington Capitals attacking from right to left in their road whites. Final 20 minutes of the regular season here at PPG Paints Arena. As it's worked along the boards, over to the far corner, Ryan Shea played it up but not out. Washington keeps hold of it. Alex Ovechkin at the far point. Ferravari at the near side. Dylan Strome, high slot above the circle. Connor Clifton got in the way of the puck. And now it's pulled out by Chinikov as Raquel trying to angle it back to Koivunen. Strome back in the Penguin zone though. Beauvillier near circle. Cuts back at the hash mark. Slings it around the boards over to the far corner. It's picked up by Van Riemsdyk. Wilson, one-timer fought off by Shelovs. Now a second attempt by Beauvillier. Sizzled wide. Went over to the far corner. Capitals send it deep to Strome. Flipped up top to Van Riemsdyk. Wilson at the high slot. Pass got off to his offhand. So he had to shovel it deep as Chychrun gets it back to Wilson in the circle. Jumped off his stick. Connor Clifton will play it ahead of the neutral zone and slow things down. Penguins desperately need a change. Everyone was out there at least 74 seconds. And Ryan Shea, who has still been out there for 80 seconds now, takes it up ice to the neutral zone. Sends it ahead before chasing back to the bench. Now Brazeau in front of the Capitals net. A shot on net that was kicked wide by Thompson. Girard races down an outlet pass in the neutral zone. Shea almost coughed it up, but instead Girard takes it the other way for the Pens. He's in the Capitals zone, near circle. Brings it down to the corner, sweeps it up to Brazeau, who is camped in front of the net, but Protas takes it away. Over to the far side, out to the neutral zone. And the Capitals dump it into the Penguins' end far corner. Girard plays it off the board, kicks it over to the near side for St. Ivany. To Brazeau, near side. Trying to thread the needle over to Tommy Novak. It jumped off his stick. Over into the Penguins' end. The puck goes down to the far corner, played by Jack St. Ivany. 4-3 Washington, over 2 minutes gone in this third period. We saw no goals in the first period. We saw all 7 in the second. Penguins have never had a lead. They did tie things up and have gotten back within 1 twice in this game. That's where we stand right now. 4-3 Washington as it's poked out to the neutral zone. Corralled by Ilya Solovyov, who got it to Ryan Graves. Now back to Solovyov. Ahead as he was looking to get it to Hayes. Instead, it's stolen away by Sordiff. He'll take it over the Penguins line. He gets tied up by Ryan Graves in the far corner. Puck goes along the end boards as Sordiff comes away with it, but coughed it right back up to Graves. Graves trying to dance past Marishnichenko. Over to the near side. It's taken by Solovyov. Ahead to Soderblom. He's in the Capital zone. Near corner. Dragging it towards the net. Couldn't get all the way there as he was tied up by Chychrun. Pass goes to the high slot. Clifton couldn't handle it. Has to recollect in the neutral zone. Over 3 minutes gone in this third. Still 4-3 Washington. Flip back to Ryan Shea. He'll cut over the Penguins logo. Far side. Flips it down to the Capitals end. Down the boards that Koponen. One hand's over to the near corner. Taken by Chychrun, worked along the boards, got it to Strome on the near side. He flips it ahead to Marishnichenko. Down into the Penguin zone it goes, over to the far corner. Shea cuts it off from Van Riemsdyk, couldn't hang out of the puck though. Duhaime finds it to the slot for Strome, but it jumped off his stick. High slot kept alive by Chychrun. Van Riemsdyk, far circle to the point for Chychrun, dragging, firing, got deflected, popped up and skimmed the netting. Almost 4 minutes gone in this third. It's still 4-3 Washington here in Pittsburgh.
When you watch Jacob Chychrun play, 25 goals for the Washington defenseman. You just scratch your head and say, what was Arizona thinking trading him to Ottawa? What was Ottawa thinking trading him to Washington? I play with his dad, Jeff, and I know the character of Jacob. What a hockey player. Man, he has found a home in Washington.
Second straight year, finding career highs. 25 goals this season, 20 last season. It's pulled away by Chychrun in his own zone, played ahead of the near side. Washington through the neutral zone sends it rink wide, and Washington touches the puck. They're offside. Over 4 minutes gone in this third period. It's 4-3 Washington.
Well, when America needs a power play, EQT delivers. Fueling freedom, strengthening allies, and unleashing U.S. LNG, liquid natural gas, from right here in Pittsburgh. EQT, unleashing America's energy future.
Chychrun traded by Arizona in 2023 to Ottawa for a first-round pick, a second-round pick, actually 2 second-round picks. And then Ottawa traded him in 2024 to Washington for a third-round pick and Nick Jensen. And there's a quick shot on net from the near point that Shelovs gobbles up. 4-3 Washington with 15:34 to go in this game.
Yeah, well, you look at Chychrun and his play, and I would imagine that would have some of the thinking. With John Carlson going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year, they've got this guy that can really carry the load offensively as a defenseman for the Caps. And so John Carlson was dealt at the deadline to the Anaheim Ducks, where John Carlson gets his first career hat trick the other night for the Ducks.
There's some emotional words from Alex Ovechkin after Carlson was moved, saying he's never been more sad about a player leaving. As here's Raquel, slings one, glove saved by Logan Thompson at the top of his crease as Raquel was nearly set up by Ville Koivunen. Just a slinging shot from Raquel, but it stays 4-3 wash.
And then Thompson way out. That's Thompson's best save of the night right there. He's only made, 9 of them on that one there, and Raquel walks right down Fifth Avenue after taking that pass from Ville Koivunen. And I always felt that a right-hand shot has an advantage against the goaltender that catches with his right hand. Just a different angle, a different look, a different landscape, if you will. And right-hand shooting, Rickard Raquel tried to go up the ladder on Thompson.
We got a Capital down on the ice right now. High slot, but they play on.
In a lot of pain.
Oh, yeah. He just tried to put some weight on the right leg, but couldn't. I think that's Rasmus Sandin.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yikes.
When you see a player grab his right leg and his knee like that, what an awkward play this was here. I did not see it right away, Joe. But Sandin is down, and man, is he writhing in pain.
He got tied up by Justin Brazeau, but it really didn't look like that much.
Wasn't much, right?
Collision. And he is still down on the ice, above the far circle.
Yeah. I think both of us are trying to see a replay so we can tell you what actually happened. And you're right, it was just off a face-off, and Sandin was trying to go around Justin Brazeau. A little collision, but not much at all. And you see no real animation by the Washington. It's almost like the Washington Capitals don't even know what happened. But man, is he in a lot of pain.
I mean, he is being helped off the ice with a capital H. Hardly moving his feet as he had 2 Capitals holding each of his arms. And now he's being handed off to the training staff as he's got both his arms around 2 trainers kind of hopping down the tunnel.
Yeah, no penalty on the play. The Stripes got together to kind of give the old what you see, what you see, what you see. And I think they were all like, we didn't see anything. If he did see anything, it wasn't much at all. And now Spencer Carberry is beefing a little bit. Maybe he's just trying to stick up for his player and just felt like maybe Brazeau kind of stuck his rump out a little bit and bumped Sandin, but still that didn't cause the injury.
Yeah.
I think it was just a bad circumstance where sometimes if you just get a blade kind of caught in the ice a little bit and you kind of tweak it, a lot of times that's how an ACL can go.
We'll get another look at it briefly here. Oh, and it was kind of Brazeau being bent over, but Sandin skates right into his backside.
And I'm going to be honest with you, that's interference. That should have been a penalty. Again, it's nothing more than interference. It's Brazeau kind of sticking his rump out to kind of throw a pick there on Sandin. Absolutely should have been a penalty, but again, that's just something that happens in the game a lot. Unfortunately for Sandin, it went the wrong way.
I mean, it looked like most of the collision was the upper body of Sandin. It's hard to believe
I agree.
that the injury more than likely is coming on the knee as we get a whistle blown here. 14:44 to go in this game. Penguins down 4-3, and now they'll be shorthanded.
And who is it?
Justin Brazeau.
Justin Brazeau. So, oh man, I want to take a look at this one here. You know, after you see an incident where you feel like, okay, maybe he got away with one right there, now you wonder, did the Stripes start to think, oh boy, did we miss one there? Should we call Brazeau? And Brazeau on the back check got a little bit of a hook into Rivalry. And yeah, it's ticky-tacky, but he probably should have been called on the interference before that on Sandin.
Well, Nolachari may have caught a high stick on the face-off, but the Penguins take it the other way. They're shorthanded right now as it's just dumped into the Capital zone, and they'll retreat. 4-3 Washington, 14.5 to play in this game. Penguins are 1 for 1 in the PK, and they actually scored shortly after it. Kevin Hayes came out of the box and broke off into the Capital zone, picked up his 4th goal of the year. Washington with it, Penguin zone, high slot to Ovechkin to the circle to circle for Dylan Strome, high slot, now Ovechkin again. Back up top to Hudson, Strome above the far circle, Hudson, wrister, saved by Shilovs, rebound, they score. And it's Ilya Protas picking up his first career NHL goal. He's got a 3-point game, but he finds the back of the net for the first time in his career, and he puts Washington ahead 5-3.
And partner, I got a good look at the high stick on the face-off. This 100% should have been a high stick against Strome on Nolachari, but play goes on. And this is one here where I think that Artur Shilovs has to have as far as the rebound. It's a long shot. He's down early. It comes off his left pad and gets away from him. And that's a rebound. Either has to die in your equipment or has to go in the corner. It gets away from him. And Ilya Protas gobbles up the rebound, pumps it in. And it's now 5-3. This is the 3rd time in this game the Washington Capitals have had a 2-goal lead.
And again, Protas with a 3-point game. This is his 2nd NHL game. With 2 primary assists, one of them setting up his older brother Alexei. The Capitals chip it back down to the Penguins' end. Penguins now down by 2 with 13.5 to play in this game. Out to the neutral zone, Matt Roy dumps it in. Artur Shilovs throws his body along the end boards to stop the rolling puck. Ryan Graves up ice, snaps it up to Igor Chinakhov, who will sweep it back to Ilya Solovyov.
Here we are 7 minutes into the 3rd period, and the Penguins do not have a shot in this period, and they're stuck at 8 total.
1 in the first, 7 in the second. As my partner just mentioned, none so far here in the 3rd. Solovyov rims it around the boards in the Penguins' end. Raquel with a quick outlet pass to Chinakhov, but he wasn't expecting it. Jacob Chychrun takes it away. Washington resetting in their own zone, but Raquel pressuring for the puck, so does Koivunen. Chips it down to the corner. Van Riemsdyk plays it off the boards, went off the back of the cage of Washington's net. And the near half wall it's fought for as Beauvillier hacks and whacks at it. Chipped along the near point as it's sent deep and rolled over to the far corner. Van Riemsdyk plays it off the wall, kicks it off the glass to the far side for Sam Girard, who will race it down. Girard in behind his own net. Swings it up to the neutral zone over the Penguins logo, now over the Capitals line, far side from Mantha, snapped over Novak, near circle, drags through, couldn't finish off from the backhand to forehand move as Washington takes it out. There's Ovechkin over the Penguins line, near side at the point, slowed down, went for a rink-wide pass off the skate of Matt Roy. Mantha takes it up with speed, Capital zone, forehand, backhand, couldn't finish it off.
That's a penalty shot.
And we got a penalty shot coming here.
Yes, we do. Anthony Mantha, that errant pass by Alexander Ovechkin goes off the wall.
A penalty shot, a foul from behind.
Goes off the wall right by the Penguins bench, and Anthony Mantha, great anticipation, and he knew he had half a step on Dylan Strome, and he just took off. Got separation on Strome, and just when he tried to go with his great move, that forehand, backhand 5-hole, he got hooked by Strome, and here we go in a 5-3 game. Penalty shot for Anthony Mantha.
So Anthony Mantha, the Penguins' leading scorer, 32 goals this year with 1 today. Picks it up, brings it far side of the Capital zone in between the rings. Forehand denied by Logan Thompson.
I'll tell you, Logan Thompson has made 2 huge saves. 4-3 hockey game. Ricard Raquel came right down Fifth Avenue. He made that glove save. Shortly thereafter, the penalty against Brezo, power play goal by Protas, 5-3, and then right there, he makes that big save. He gave Anthony Mantha. He almost spread his legs and said, here you go. Here's the Fort Pitt Tunnel if you want it. And when Anthony Mantha took the bait, he shut those pillows down and kept it 5-3 Washington.
So down 2 with less than 12 to play. Just a quick false trigger of the horn there. They're not reviewing anything. Face off to the left of Thompson. Penguins win the draw. Clifton sweeps it to Shea, far point. They'll snap a shot that gets deflected and goes out of play. 11:43 to go in this one, and the Penguins are chasing 2 now. It's 5-3 Washington on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
And whatever team drafts me, I'm grateful, whether it's the number 1 pick or whether it's the 199th pick.
Dreams are about to become a reality for the stars of college football. And SiriusXM NFL Radio is your guide on the path to the 2026 draft.
There are no 2 draft boards the same.
Listen to interviews with all the prospects, coaches, and general managers.
We're just trying to find the right guys.
And hear every pick of the 2026 draft on NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
What's the big difference been for the New York Islanders this season?
Matthew Schaefer. Here's Schaefer now passes Phil Housley for the most goals scored by an 18-year-old defenseman. The only other comparable I have right now, and I'm not saying he's going to have the Bobby Orr career, but he's got a great future ahead of him, is Bobby Orr to Matthew Schaefer.
NHL Morning Skate. Weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin. NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Feel the pulse-pounding drama of the UEFA Champions League knockout stage on SiriusXM FC. The stakes are raised as Europe's elite.
Real Madrid do what they do best. A 5-star show from Manchester City. What a start for Inter.
Battle in a quest for club soccer's ultimate prize.
This is the place where dreams come true.
This is where legends are made. The Champions League knockout stage on SiriusXM FC 157 and the SiriusXM app.
By NCUA.
Well, the Penguins have had their chances, but they're trailing Washington 5-3. We've got 11:43 to go in this one. Shots on goal in favor of the Capitals, 27-8. Just recently, Anthony Mantha denied on a penalty shot by Logan Thompson.
You know, penalty shot just like a shootout shot, right? If you're curious on Mantha's shootouts in his career, just 2 for 10.
Well, the Penguins have actually won their last 2 shootouts. 3-10 on the year. As Tom Wilson hustles down a puck in the Penguins zone far corner, then gets crunched into the boards by Sam Girard. Played up to the point, D to Chychrun. He'll dance past McGroarty at the near circle, fired it towards the net. Wilson tried to swat it home, but it got kicked wide. Avery Hayes to Sam Girard, shovels it ahead to Kevin Hayes, who has scored in this game. McGroarty just able to flick it into the Capitals' end. It's worked back the other way by Washington to the neutral zone that Kevin Hayes will collect. Taps it over the Capitals line. Near corner, Avery Hayes races it down and behind the net. Works it up the far boards, but it's taken by a hustling Justin Sordiff. Ahead to Alexi Protas. Far side, down to the corner. And behind the net. Tied up by Sam Girard. Kevin Hayes comes away with the puck. Works it up the far side of the Penguins' end. Got it to Ville Koivunen. He'll skate it over the McDonald's logo and chip it down to the Capitals' end near corner. 10:45 to go in this game. Penguins down by 2. Penguins did bring a 3-game win streak in this building coming into this contest. 20-12-8 here at PPG Paints Arena this year. Playing in the final game of the regular season right here. A little tic-tac-toe for the Penguins. Chinakhov and the Capitals end, speeding in behind the net. Lost the puck. Raquel takes it. Turnaround shot. Tried to sneak one home. Solovyov downstairs to Chinakhov as he went for a centering pass to Koivunen, but it got knocked out by Washington. Nifty puck movement by that line. And unable to find the back of the net as the Penguins ice it down into the Capitals' end. 10:05 to go in this game. 5-3 Washington leads.
Want some birthdays?
Let's do it.
Here we go. Brandon Montour, 32. Alexander Burrows, 45. Ben Clymer, 48. Trevor Linden, 56. Jim Nill, General manager of the Dallas Stars, former Detroit Red Wing player, 68. And Richard Sevigny is 69. Goaltender for the Montreal Canadiens and the Quebec Nordiques. Won the Vezina in 1981 with Montreal. And he won it with Denny Herron and Bunny Larocque. And that's back when they used to give the Vezina Trophy, same as the Jennings Trophy now, for the goaltenders with the lowest or the fewest goals against. And obviously they changed that now to the best goaltender in the league for the Vezina. And the Jennings has replaced the Vezina in that description.
Happy birthday, boys.
Happy birthday, boys.
9.5 to play here in Pittsburgh. Penguins trail Washington 5-3. Trevor Van Riemsdyk with it in behind Logan Thompson's net. Sprays it ahead to Cole Hudson. Flings it down to the Penguins' end. Bounces off the near corner. Rolls to the far one. Brandon Duhaime gets in there to the far circle for Leonard. 2 goals on the game for this one. Chychrun near circle. Up top, Roy pumps one in a glove save by Artur Shilovs to keep it a 2-goal lead for the Washington Capitals. 9:08 to go here in Pittsburgh. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
What's up, Pittsburgh? Brian Rust here, letting you know that I'm bringing back half-off milkshakes to the city of Pittsburgh. That's right, you heard me. Half-off shakes are back at Milkshake Factory when I score a goal. Rusty's Shake is a rich chocolate shake with oven-baked brownies, crushed cookies and cream, and melted hot fudge topped with whipped cream. And of course, a chocolate 17. When I score a goal, come celebrate with me at the Milkshake Factory.
It takes real beer to quench real thirst, to give you real satisfaction. Iron City Beer is the perfect result of the skill and knowledge developed through 164 years in the business. Go on, grab one.
Kimberly-Clark Professional is proud to be a champion sustainability partner of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Together, they are driving change to help reduce impact through a commitment to sustainable products and services. Learn more at kcprofessional.com/sustainability.
Dear team, thanks for showing up for me with the best face paint and taunting the other team in the kindest way. For standing on your seat when I need the support and screaming until your throat hurts because you know it makes a difference. For wearing my number. For being the best teammates a player could ask for. At Highmark, we're proud to be cheering alongside the best teammates. Fans like you. Because life. Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield. Official health plan of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Penguins hockey is brought to you in part by Kent State University, transforming dreams into achievements.
Well, with the Washington Capitals still clinging on to their playoff hopes, they've got a 2-goal lead over the Penguins right now. 9:08 to go. 5-3 Washington, who are out shooting the Penguins 28-11.
And if the Caps are able to hang on here, that'll give them 91 points. And depending on what happens with Philadelphia at Winnipeg, if the Flyers lose that game, that means the Caps are only 1 point behind the Flyers for third in the Metro.
There's no room to blink.
Also you got Columbus in the mix there too. They're in Montreal tonight, and they are at 90 points. So yeah, the Philadelphia-Winnipeg game, Columbus-Montreal game are huge for a couple teams later on today.
And then again, the Islanders still 1 point behind the Philadelphia Flyers, even after earlier today. Islanders' next 2 games are both at home, hosting Montreal and then Carolina. And again, the New York Islanders 1-4-0 since the Penguins beat them at UBS Arena last week. Remember all the anticipation heading into that game?
Oh boy. And at that time, before that puck drop, the Islanders were second in the Metro by 1 point.
I think it was just March 24th that Columbus was second in the Metro, ahead of the Penguins, and they've gathered just 3 points since then, I'm pretty sure. And the Penguins will host the first 2 games of the first round of the playoffs. Here's a shot by Anthony Beauvillier, stuffed out by Shilovs. Sent over to the far circle, played ahead of the neutral zone. Hayes couldn't keep hold of it as Connor McMichael got it to Beauvillier near half wall. He'll cut around at the near point, sling it down in behind the net to Leonard at the near corner. Up to Faravari, walks the blue line, downstairs to the far circle. Shot on net, didn't get through traffic. As Avery Hayes tried to clear the puck out, took a hard check from Ryan Leonard. Now Leonard tried to get a pass back in the slot. Well, the Penguins work it down back into Washington zone. 5-3 Capitals with 7:11 to go in this game. Trevor Van Riemsdyk ahead to the far side as it's dumped down to the Penguins end. Pulled up by Solovyov in the near corner. Around the boards to Mantha, far half wall. He'll send it rink wide. Then Novak plays off the wall over the Capitals line down to the near corner. Taken by Matt Roy. And crunched into the boards by Novak. Worked up to the point. St. Ivany sent it deep. It rolls in behind the net. Over to the far side now as Miroshnichenko clears it down to the Penguins end. 6:35 to go here in Pittsburgh. Penguins still down by 2. They've never led in this game. They tied it up once. And they're trying to get back within 1 for the 3rd time today. And Washington chips it down to the near corner. Girard kept it along the end boards, but it's taken back by Washington's Alex Ovechkin. Here's Chychrun with a shot. That went wide. Over to the far corner. Kel couldn't handle it. Out to the far point. It squeaks over the Penguin blue line. Taken back by Dylan Strome. Chychrun back into the Penguins end. Around the boards to the far wall. Koivunen stopped it as it was bouncing atop the shelf. Connor Clifton below the goal line. Springing ahead to Koivunen. Under 6 minutes to play in this one. Penguins down by 2. Girard ahead into the Capital zone. It's punched out by Washington. They tried to go for a stretch pass to Beauvillier. He couldn't handle it. Got tied up by Clifton as the Penguins shovel it out to the neutral zone. Koivunen now forced over the Capitals blue line. Raquel's got it. He'll pitch it down to the corner. 5.5 to play here in Pittsburgh. Penguins down 5-3 to the Washington Capitals. Home finale here in the regular season. First half of a back-to-back home and home between these two teams. Penguins will be in D.C. tomorrow for another 3 o'clock puck drop. As Connor Clifton sent a stretch pass looking for Avery Hayes. He got a touch of it, but couldn't hang on to the puck as it rolls over to the near corner in the Capitals end. Puck goes on edge and behind the net. Avery Hayes, wraparound try, stuffed out by Thompson.
Another big save by Thompson. That's 3 here in the 3rd to help the Washington Capitals maintain their lead.
Now Clifton throwing hands with Duhaime. The Penguins take the puck back in their own zone. Less than 5 to play in this hockey game. If the Penguins do score in these final 5 minutes of this game or any game this year, you win a free Big Mac. Offer is valid 3 days after the Penguins score on the Big Mac attack. Just download your McDonald's app and claim your free Big Mac with a purchase of $1 or more. We'll go to a break with 4:32 to go here in Pittsburgh. Penguins trailing the Washington Capitals 5-3 on the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
SiriusXM brings you the most live sports.
Victor going up. Oh! Explodes over Miller.
This month, hear every MLB game.
Go and go. 2-run homer, Aaron Judge.
Exclusive radio coverage of the Masters.
Oh, and it goes in the hole. Scotty Scheffler, eagle.
The NBA playoffs, the Stanley Cup playoffs, expert coverage of the NFL draft, and so much more. Find your sport. Go to SiriusXM.com/sports or search on the SiriusXM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
What's the big difference been for the New York Islanders this season?
Matthew Schaefer. Here's Schaefer now, passes Phil Housley for the most goals scored by an 18-year-old defenseman. The only other comparable I have right now, and I'm not saying he's going to have the Bobby Orr career, but he's got a great future ahead of him, is Bobby Orr to Matthew Schaefer.
NHL Morning Skate. Weekdays at 7 a.m. Eastern with Gord Stellick and Scott Laughlin. NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Penguins still down by 2 to the Washington Capitals, who are trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. It's 5-3 Washington with 4:32 to go in this game.
Maybe not right now, but the Penguins down a pair of goals, as you said, Joe, that Dan Muse is not afraid to pull his, and I barely got that sentence out of my mouth, and he waved down to Archer Sheloff and took him off for 6-on-5. Here we go.
So Tommy Novak will take the draw. He's got Brazeau to his right, along with Anthony Mantha, Ricard Raquel to his left, Sam Girard and Igor Chinakhov behind him. Penguins are down by 2. They've got the goalie pulled. 6-on-5. Face off to the right of Logan Thompson. Connor McMichael to take the draw for the Washington Capitals, and the puck goes over to the far corner. Brazeau muscles his way through, brings it towards the side of the crease. Wraparound try that hit the side of the cage. Up to the near point for Chinakhov. To Mantha at the half boards. He'll hang on to it. The hash marks up to Chinakhov, who snaps it over to Girard, far point. Back to Chinakhov, high slot, brings it over to the far side at the circle. Whiffed on a pass, then gets it back, got it to Raquel and behind the net. Mantha at the near corner. Raquel behind the net again, far circle Novak, up to Chinakhov in the slot. Wrister deflected, goes to the near corner. Taken by Washington's Van Riemsdyk. McMichael punches it out to the neutral zone, but Chinakhov handles it. We'll keep away with him and Anthony Mantha as we've got under 4 minutes to play in this game. Penguins down by 2. Chinakhov couldn't hang on to the pass. Tom Wilson's got it, gave it to Ovechkin. Ovechkin far circle, and he gets the empty net. And the grade 8 picks up goal number 929 on the empty netter, and possibly his last game here in Pittsburgh, and it's 6-3 Washington.
There was no way Tom Wilson was going to shoot this puck. As he was able to corral a puck in the neutral zone, and he was just clearly looking for Alexander Ovechkin. A mishandle by the Penguins in the neutral zone. They had something going on. I'm still like that Dan Muse pulls his goalie that early, down by 2 goals. And they just couldn't figure it out in the neutral zone. They turn the puck over, and Wilson gets it to Ovechkin, and he doesn't miss on the ENG.
That's also Alex Ovechkin's 44th career goal against the Penguins. This is his 82nd career game against the Pens in the regular season.
Washington goal is 32nd of the season, scored by number 8, Alex Ovechkin. Assisted by number 43, Tom Wilson.
And a little mix of cheers and boos. Ryan Mill acknowledges Alexander Ovechkin scoring goal number 929, most all-time in NHL history. Under 3 minutes to play here in Pittsburgh. Again, Ovechkin scored goal number 897 in this building last year, the last game of the season. That was the only goal that he had against the Penguins all year long last year. Out to the neutral zone it goes as Chychrun will sling it back down to the Penguins' end. The Washington Capitals coming to Pittsburgh and keep their playoff hopes alive. A 3-goal lead with 2:22 to go as Koivunen chips and then tries to dodge a big hit. Work along the far boards, Ryan Shea keeps it alive. Will shovel it down to the near corner. Joona Koppanen tied up at the half wall. Out to the neutral zone, Brandon Duhaime sweeps it down to the Penguins' end near corner. 2 minutes to go in this game. Shots on goal in favor of the Capitals, 31-12. Shea dumps it down into the Capitals' zone. Spun back the other way by Faravari. Van Riemsdyk ahead. The rink-wide pass is played off the near boards by Solovyov to Avery Hayes, who will get it over the Capitals line, but then lose it to Dylan Strome. He'll carry it into the Penguins zone, in the slot, near circle. Swept over to Miroshnichenko. Penguins work it the other way with 1:20 to go in this game. Avery Hayes to Tommy Novak, up to Ilya Solovyov, poked out by Miroshnichenko. And the Capitals get a change with 70 seconds to go in this game. And these two teams will hop on a plane right after this and head right to Washington, D.C., wrap up the season series in our nation's capital tomorrow as Kevin Hayes rips a shot that goes wide. Played out to the far side, kicked out to the neutral zone. Anthony Beauvillier, the former Penguin, sweeps it down to the corner. There's Jack St. Ivany tried to cut in front for the puck, worked it over to the near side. Ryan Shea brings it up to center ice. Now over the Capitals line, far side, wrister high of the net, bounces off the back of the cage. 30 seconds to go. Well, the next time the Penguins will be in this building, it'll be for playoff game number 1. And playoffs here at PPG Paints Arena for the first time in 4 years. What a night that will be. But for right here, right now, the Washington Capitals take a 6-3 winner over the Penguins in the regular season home finale. And the Capitals still with a fighting chance for the playoffs after doubling up on the Penguins here today.
Well, that makes that game tomorrow very meaningful for the Washington Capitals, of course. See what happens with the Blue Jackets. See what happens with the Philadelphia Flyers. This one here, they just took a shot away from the Penguins. Add injury to insult. Now with just a measly 11 shots on goal. I still feel like there should have been more. There was a great opportunity here for some guys that got an opportunity because the Penguins had Sid and Gino and Rust and the slew of other players out of the lineup. I just felt this is an opportunity missed for a lot of guys that might not get another opportunity.
We'll take a break. Paul Steigerwald and Brian Metzer will start the post-game conversation up before Borky and I wrap up a few more things here from PPG Paints Arena. You're listening to the Penguins Radio Network, presented by S&T Bank.
The Stanley Cup Playoffs Bracket Challenge, presented by Expedia, is back.
Come on, boys.
And now it's time to take your shot. Face off against family and friends. And see if you can predict this year's playoffs. Can you pick the perfect bracket and claim the ultimate prize? A trip to a 2026-27 NHL event and an Adventure Chrono NHL Limited Edition watch by Norcane. Sign up today at nhl.com/bracket.
When you're craving a savory snack that's energy boosting, nitrate free, high in protein, and full of flavor, you want the original Mr. Donair beef jerky. High quality protein, finest U.S. beef cuts, nitrate free. Premium meat snacks, power play performance. Mr. Donair, proud to be the official jerky of the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Pittsburgh-based EQT Corporation is the top natural gas producer in the United States and is a proud sponsor of the Pittsburgh Penguins' pathway to net zero. EQT is an industry leader in cutting emissions and using our region's clean resources to replace dirtier sources of energy overseas. EQT and the Penguins are focused on achieving key climate goals and reducing emissions across Pittsburgh and beyond. Visit EQT.com to learn more about how EQT is moving towards the future and setting the standard for production of affordable, reliable, and clean energy.
Hi, I'm Marcus Leto. I'm the co-creator of the Halo universe and the creator of the Master Chief. Kent State really taught me to think like a designer, not just to build visuals, but to build worlds. I mean, that was all this fire in my belly that I just wanted to kind of create something that was different. The program here really helped give me the tools to enter the workforce.